Chapter 4682. Soon, under the leadership of divine monk Yuhao, Duan Lingtian and others went to the main temple of Kuhai Temple and saw the Hedao realm strongman from Kuhai Temple. This is an old monk with white eyebrows. He is wearing a gray-white cassock. He looks ordinary. He is sitting cross-legged in the ancient and vicissitudes of the Buddhist temple. If you don't use your eyes to see it, but just use your spiritual sense to scan out, it will be difficult to find him. He was sitting there with his eyes closed and meditating. Grandmaster, the guests have arrived. Monk Yuhao bowed respectfully. Jiang Haishan brought 4 members of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom into Taoism, and met the Yongye Divine Monk. Jiang Haishan followed and spoke in a respectful tone. After all, this was a strong man in the Hedao realm who stood at the pinnacle of the world of gods and earth. No matter how strong a master in the Dao realm was, it was not worth mentioning in front of him. Duan Lingtian is considered to be strong. He has entered the 9th level of Taoism and has understood the 3 kinds of Tao very well. But if he were to face the Yongye Divine Monk, he would not be able to resist even a single blow from the Yongye Divine Monk. He would be disabled even if he was not dead. I've seen the Eternal Night Monk. At this time, both Duan Lingtian and Hong Dongchuan and the other 4 people from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, as well as the other 3 people from Kuhai Temple except Bai Yen Divine Monk, all looked at Yongyi with awe. Divine Monk. The Eternal Night Monk is not only the most powerful person in the Kuhai Temple, but also the belief of the people in the Kuhai Temple. His status in their eyes is so high that no one can replace him. Even though he is an old man with a cane, the reason why he is willing to represent the Bitter Sea Temple in the Dao Dao showdown with Jianglan Divine Kingdom after appearing in seclusion for many years is because he knows that no matter he wins or loses, he will have the opportunity to hear this. A sermon. Duan Lingtian looked at the white-browed old monk in front of him. This was also the first time in his life that he had seen a strong man in the Hedao realm who had surpassed the 9th level of Dao. You must know that in all the worlds he was in before, and even in the places outside the world, not to mention after the historical separation, even before the historical separation, the most powerful existence that appeared was the 9th level of the Dao. It is not said that anyone can go back to forward take a step forward. Even for the old man Wukong whose memory he merged with, in the eyes of the other party, the only thing beyond the 9th level of the Dao, which is the 7th level of the most powerful, is the Dao of Heaven. In the past, the so-called way of heaven in all realms, and even in places outside the realm, was mysterious and unpredictable in his eyes. It wasn't until he came to the world of gods and earth that he realized that the so-called way of heaven was just the rules determined by the strong men in the Hedao realm in the world of gods and earth after they obtained the creation life chart. In other words, the way of heaven is the master of the creation chart. In addition, he has basically figured out one thing. That is, before and after the historical separation of the world and the land outside the world, the so-called way of heaven is actually not controlled by the same person, or it is not the same person. The person in front has cultivated the Tao of taboo life sacrifice to the 9th level, and is only one step away from integrating it into his other already integrated Tao. Once successful, he will become the top being in the world of gods and earth. The 3 paths merge into one, and he is the sealing powerhouse in the world of gods and earth. Looking at the contemporary world, there are only a handful of such peerless experts. However, later he was besieged, severely injured and died tragically, and the creation life chart was also taken away and divided into several parts. It was at that time that the world in the creation life chart collapsed, and old man Wukong died, desperately trying to survive. Only by protecting it, he was able to leave a complete memory in his own place of ruins, and finally it was obtained by Duan Lingtian after the history was cut off. It was not at all what the old man Wukong had guessed. Why was heaven afraid that someone like him would surpass him at the 9th level, so he wanted to kill him? In the creation life chart world, the limit that can be reached by cultivation is the 9th level of the most powerful, which is equivalent to the 9th level of the Tao. It was not until many years later that someone gathered together the parts of the creation chart, reorganized the creation chart, and practiced the forbidden life sacrifice method. Only then did the world in the creation chart reopen from chaos and gradually recover. At the same time, under the influence of God, did the two world catch you? A few people were thrown into the creation horoscope space, where they were allowed to reproduce. And Duan Ling Tian is the life that spawned from the group of people from the divine earth world. Not only him, but all the people he knew in the world and beyond were all beings born later. However, the new owner of the creation life chart, who had only reached the 8th level in his cultivation of the taboo of life sacrifice, was caught. He made the same mistake as the old owner of the creation life chart and escaped with serious injuries, but he still managed to escape. Taking away the destroyed creation chart, this is better than the old owner of the creation chart. After all, the old master failed to take away the creation chart. Hello everyone. The Yongye divine monk opened his eyes dimmed, and his whole person looked more and more ordinary, but no one dared to underestimate him. After all, they all knew that he was a strong man in Hadao. I didn't expect that I would have the opportunity to see the existence that came out of the world of creation and destiny. The eyes of Yongye divine monk quickly fell on Duan Ling Tian. In your body, there is life born in the world of creation and destiny. The breath. Some time ago, although I did not participate in the encirclement and suppression of the new master of the creation life chart, I was when Pan was injured and countless lives fell into the world of gods and earth. He still sensed many strange auras coming into the world. It was precisely because of this that he knew that Duan Lingshan's aura was different from the aborigines of the divine land world, and belonged to the aura of life born in the creation life Pan world. Duan Ling Tian asked curiously and soon learned this from the other party. Ancestor. At this time, divine monk Yuhao smiled bitterly and said, "This time, our Kohai temple was defeated." When the words fell, his eyes were full of self-blame. The Yongye divine monk's expression remained unchanged. He continued to look at Duan Ling Tian, and asked in a calm tone, "Is it because of him?" "Yes." Divine monk Yuhao nodded. "Brother Duan Ling Tian is far more powerful than me. Not only has the way of swordsmanship reached the 9th level, but the way of infinity and control have also reached at least the 8th level." As soon as these words came out, the dim eyes of the Yongye divine monk suddenly became brighter. And everyone else, except Jiang Haishan and the white-eyed monk, were all shocked. Even Hong Dongchuan, although he had witnessed Duan Ling Tian easily defeat the divine monk Yuhao before, he never expected that Duan Ling Tian would take such an amazing step and comprehend the other two ways to the 8th level. It was simply outrageous. Doesn't this mean that as long as one of the two Tao steps into the 9th level, Duan Ling Tian can try to combine it? Once Hadao is successful, another powerful person in the Hadao realm will be born in the world of gods and earth. The lives in the creation world are all descendants of people from the world of gods and earth. Their talents are not bad. However, for you to have come this far, your talents are already top-notch. Hadao, for you in terms, it should not be difficult matter. The Yongye divine monk spoke again, looking at Duan Ling Tian with a look that was obviously more friendly. Duan Ling Tian cupped his hands and smiled slightly. "I hope that your next sermon, the holy monk, will give me more insights and even make me one step further on the infinite path." Chapter 4683. The Yongye divine monk smiled happily. "So, I can't hide my secrets in the following sermon. If it can help Duan Ling Tian take that step, it will be a good thing for him and the Bitter Sea Temple. This is equivalent to giving Duan Ling Tian a favor. Monk Yongye, from what you said, could it be that you were hiding something secret when you preached in the past?" Jiang Haishan shook his head and smiled. "Huh. Just kidding. However, since little friend Duan Ling Tian is here today, I will tell you in more detail. I hope it can be of help to you and help you to take a step further." The Yongye divine monk also smiled, and then looked at Duan Ling Tian with soft eyes. intent on giving him a favor. Of course, he also knew in his heart that if he sent out this favor, the other party might not be able to receive it. However, he still planned to try. "Thank you, divine monk Yongye." Duan Lingtian thanked him profusely. Ever since Duan Lingtian easily defeated divine monk Yuhao, among the people of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he seemed to have replaced Jiang Haishan and become the most dazzling existence. Next, everyone listened quietly to the sermon of the Yongye Divine Monk. During this process, it was not difficult for Duan Lingtian to feel that the Yongye Divine Monk was not out of touch just now. He really meant to preach for him. Whenever he talked about the infinite way, the depth of his analysis showed his good intentions. And Duan Lingtian didn't let go of such a good opportunity, and listened carefully. Unknowingly, he was fascinated by what he heard, and even began to verify it in his mind. Gradually, his understanding of the infinite path gradually became clearer. Deepen, continue to deepen, and then grow more smoothly and break the bottleneck, done in one go. Wow! Before the end of the Yongye Divine Monk sermon, Duan Lingtian finally took the next step and successfully understood the infinite path to the 9th level, becoming a 9th level master who has mastered 2 9th level ways. Such existences are also recognized as half-step Hadao and quasi-Hadao. Because, for such a being, as long as he takes one more step forward and the 2 kinds of 9-level Dao merge into one, he will officially enter the united Dao realm. Congratulations, little friend. When Duan Lingtian successfully attracted everyone's attention, before anyone else could react, Yongye Divine Monk was the first to speak, congratulating Duan Lingtian. At this time, everyone else came to their senses and congratulated Duan Lingtian. Even the representatives from the Kuhai Temple who had been at loggerheads with Duan Lingtian before, all of them congratulated him in a friendly manner, as if they wanted to mend their relationship with Duan Lingtian, including the bald man, and in old age. Now that they all realize that Duan Lingtian is not easy to mess with, they will naturally not be stupid enough to offend him. Such a being, even if we cannot be friends, we must not be enemies. In this way, Duan Lingtian successfully took a crucial step. The infinite way entered the 9th level, getting closer and closer to the Hadao realm. Next, he did not return to Jianglan Divine Kingdom with Jiang Haishan and others, but planned to stay for a while. It was said that he wanted to communicate with the Yongye Divine Monk, but in fact, he wanted to use the Kuhai Temple to the piece of Hadao monument left behind. Take a look and observe. This was also the condition he proposed to Monk Yuhao. The price is that he cannot participate in the next Dao duel between Jianglan Divine Kingdom and Kuhai Temple. With him helping the Jianglan Kingdom, the Kuhai Temple felt that it was invincible and unmatched. They might lose the Hadao monument they were currently promoted to in 1,000 years. Duan Lingtian originally thought that if he listened to the sermons of the Yongye Divine Monk and his infinite way did not break through, he would put forward the conditions for the Yongye Divine Monk to continue to preach to him and help his infinite way to enter the 9th level. Now, since a breakthrough has been made, it is natural to change the conditions. Next, Duan Lingtian stayed in the main temple of Kuhai Temple and became a distinguished guest of Kuhai Temple. Jiang Haishan, Hong Dongchuan and other 4 people returned to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Dongchuan, do you think that after 1,000 years, Brother Lingtian will still be in the Taoist realm? On the way back, Jiang Haishan couldn't help but ask Hong Dongchuan. It's hard to say. Hong Dongchuan shook his head at first. After all, there are many people who have reached this stage, let alone thousands of years. Even if they spend thousands or tens of thousands of years, they have not been able to enter the Hadao. But, Hong Dongchuan continued, those people may not be able to compare with Brother Lingtian in terms of talent and understanding. I have confidence in him, and I think he will enter the Hadao realm within 1,000 years. Jiang Haishan sighed, if this is the case, he won't be able to help us in the Dao duel 1,000 years later. It seems that I have to prepare for a rainy day. It doesn't matter if you lose after 1,000 years. It's like giving back the Hadao monument. If you lose 2 games in a row, you will lose all your foundation. Jiang Haishan's idea was actually shared by divine monk Yuhao. Even when Duan Lingshan's infinite path took a step further, divine monk Yuhao was doubting. Duan Lingtian was confident that he would reach the Hadao realm within 1,000 years, so he readily agreed to his request. However, even if he had such doubts, he would not be able to take back what he said. After all, Duan Lingtian was now worthy of the Kuhai Temple's initiative to befriend him. He did not see that the number 1 person in the Kuhai Temple, the Yongye divine monk, regarded him as a forever friend. Duan Lingtian stayed in Kuhai Temple for 3 full years before leaving. When leaving, the Yongye divine monk saw him off personally. "Brother, stop it. I will come back to meet you again when I have time in the future." Duan Lingtian said hello and then withdrew. After leaving the Kuhai Temple and returning to the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he first went back to Duan Mansion and stayed with his family for a month before heading to the capital to meet the royal family and prepare to inspect one of the 2 Hadao monuments in the hands of the royal family. 1. Here, he also met the Hadao realm ancestor from the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, who was also quite polite to him and even gave him a sermon in private. However, because the other party's method is not what he is good at, there is not much improvement. "Little friend Lingtian, please choose one of these 2 Hadao steel." The ancestor of the Hadao realm of Jianglan Divine Kingdom said, letting Duan Lingtian choose. This can be regarded as taking care of Duan Lingtian. You must know that in the past, Jiang Haishan didn't promise to give him the right to choose the Hadao monument. After all, Jiang Haishan couldn't make the decision yet. That's it. There are 2 Hadao tablets. The combined Tao has nothing to do with the Way of Sword and the Infinite Way. Duan Lingtian chose one of the Hadao tablets that contains the Way of Control. Time flies. 20 years passed in the blink of an eye. Boom! On this day, a loud noise that seemed to shake the earth spread in the sky of the royal family in the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Then all kinds of amazing visions appeared. Not only everyone in Jianglan Divine Kingdom saw it, but even the nearby people saw it. Everyone can see it clearly. In the direction of the Bitter Sea Temple, the Yongye divine monk walked out, looked at the astonishing vision in the direction of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and murmured to himself, "A new Hadao has been born. Could it be my little friend Ling Tian?" Chapter 4684. He broke through so quickly. Jiang Haishan, the 9th-level member of the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, was standing with a middle-aged man with a strong build and a face as beautiful as jade, looking at the center of the vision of heaven and earth. The storm shook with great force and bursts of strange sounds. Echoing in the void, it seems to be telling some mystery. And this scene is not unfamiliar to Jiang Haishan. The people around him had experienced this scene in the past. This is the vision of heaven and earth caused by stepping into Hadao. In the world of gods and earth, the only ones who can cause strange phenomena in the world are those who are strong in Hadao. It is different from the creation chart world where visions of heaven and earth can be seen everywhere, because the rules of the latter are set by the owner of the creation chart. Whatever visions you want it to have, there will be any visions. In the world of divine soil, not only is the space solid and indestructible, even a powerful person who has entered the Tao can hardly tear the space apart, and the visions of heaven and earth are not something you can see even if you want to see them. I didn't expect that his talent and understanding would be so evil. The middle-aged man on the side couldn't help but sigh. He is the Hadao strongman of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, named Jiang Tianzheng, and he is also the highest-ranking person in the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Even Jiang Haishan respects him as ancestor. The center of the storm of the heaven and earth vision. Before the vision appeared, the buildings in this area had been destroyed and turned into ruins. A figure sitting cross-legged in the void is looming in the vision of heaven and earth. Astonishingly, he was a young man wearing purple clothes, with a handsome face and an extraordinary temperament. All he could see was his sharp eyebrows and starry eyes. Even if he closed his eyes to rest, he still gave people an invisible oppression, making people dare not look directly at him. At this moment, the entire royal family was alarmed. Boom! Suddenly, there was a loud noise from the sky, as if it was earth-shattering, and then thousands of strange phenomena gathered together, turning into a giant sword in the sky, standing upright on the sky, surrounded by countless small swords, and the number of small swords continued to increase. Even the strange phenomena of heaven and earth that spread around this place were all turned into small swords at this time. Countless small swords in the sky and the earth condensed and formed, surrounding the giant sword in the sky like stars over the moon. Even as the terrifying aura on the giant sword in the sky became more and more powerful, the number of small swords continued to increase, not only quickly covering the entire Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but also the surrounding areas of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and even the Bitter Sea God. The small half area of the temple was filled with small swords scattered in the air. This is also someone who broke through and entered Hadao. Looking at the vision of heaven and earth at this time, he is combining the way of sword and the way of infinity. Infinite Kendo. Although there are only dozens of powerful Hadao people in the Divine Land world, and there are only 3 people in Jianglan Divine Kingdom and nearby areas, at this time, many powerful Taoists guess that there is something new through the vision of heaven and earth in front of them. A strong man in the Hadao realm birth. Even, it can be seen which 2 kinds of Tao are combined to achieve the harmonious state of Tao. Even in the Duan Mansion in Chuzhou City, a group of people were attracted by the vision on the horizon, especially Yu Xiao and Zhao Ani, who guessed that this was the birth of the Hadao realm. The Elephant Queen also gasped in unison. Angry, with a look of shock on his face, there was a bit of expectation deep in his eyes. The Hadao realm was a realm they had never heard of in the past 10,000 realms and the land outside the realm. Although they have now entered the 7th level of the Tao, and seem to be not far from the Hadao realm, they are not confident that they can take that step and enter the Hadao realm before their lifespans come to an end. I don't know who the saint is, but he has actually stepped into the realm of harmony. Zhao Ani sighed. Neither he nor Yu Xiao connected the vision of heaven and earth in front of them with Duan Ling Tian. After all, in their eyes, Duan Ling Tian is now just the 8th level of Taoism. The 2 of them did not even know about Duan Ling Tian before. Breaking through to the 9th level of the Tao. Although Duan Ling Tian came back 20 years ago, he did not mention this matter to them. However, several of his wives knew that he had broken through to the 9th level. Now, after seeing the vision of heaven and earth in front of them and learning that this was the birth of a powerful Hadao in the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, the 4 girls Qir, Huaner, Li Fei and Feng Tianwu all thought of it in unison. Their husband, Duan Ling Tian, is it Brother Tian? Definitely. Jianglan Divine Kingdom has not seen a second Hadao strongman for many years. The person who breaks through now will most likely be Brother Tian. 20 years ago, when Brother Tian left, he said he would attack the Hadao realm. That should be right. During the conversation between the 4 women, there was a hint of excitement in their tone. After all, that is the Hadao realm. After coming to the Divine Land world for a while, they have realized what kind of cultivation realm the Hadao realm is. It is the cultivation realm that stands at the pinnacle of the Divine Earth world. Looking at the entire Divine Earth world, with this cultivation for whom, only a few dozen people. Everyone is a giant in the world of gods and earth. For example, the Hadao level member of the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom is a giant on the side of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. With him, Jianglan Divine Kingdom can continue to be passed on, unless he offends many Hadao level people and is killed together. Otherwise, even if it is other combinations in the Tao realm, as long as they are not sure of killing him at once, they will not dare to attack the Jianglan Kingdom easily. Whoosh! In the main temple of Kuhai Temple, Yongye Divine Monk came out of the air and headed straight to Jianglan Divine Kingdom, preparing to congratulate the strong man who had just broken through to the Hadao realm. In addition, I also want to confirm whether it is Duan Ling Tian. Although he guessed it was Duan Ling Tian, he didn't dare to be 100% sure until he saw the other party to confirm it thoroughly. In addition to the Eternal Night Divine Monk, in the sea area adjacent to the eastern border of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, on a huge island that looks like a paradise, there is also a person who flies through the air and enters Jianglan Divine Kingdom, heading straight to the vision of heaven and earth. Go away with your heart. I really didn't expect that Jianglan Divine Kingdom would produce another strong man in the Hadao realm. Is it that Jiang Haishan? With his talent, it is logically difficult for him to enter the Hadao realm. Well, just go and take a look and you'll find out. This person is the patron saint of the Qianghai Divine Island, behind the eastern sea area of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and he is also the only Hadao realm powerhouse in Qianghai Divine Island. This. In the royal family of the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Hong Dongchuan had also rushed here. After confirming from the Jianghai Pass that it was Duan Ling Tian who broke through, he was also shocked. He never expected that young man so quickly stepped into Hadao territory. How long has it been? The last time he sparred with the other party was only at the 8th level of Hadao realm. Thinking about it carefully, it seemed that it was less than 30 years ago, right? Congratulations to fellow Daoist Duan. When he saw Duan Ling Tian open his eyes, the Hadao realm expert from the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom reacted immediately and congratulated him continuously. Chapter 4685. Duan Ling Tian opened his eyes, and his eyes were filled with light, as bright as the scorching sun on the horizon, making people afraid to look directly at him. Faced with the congratulations of Jiang Tianzheng, a strong man in the Hadao realm of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Duan Ling Tian came to his senses immediately, smiled and nodded at the other party, and said with a friendly smile, "Senior, please protect me." Just now, he was in the process of breaking through the stability. Although he had the power to protect himself, his spiritual consciousness could not detect that Jiang Tianzheng was protecting him. It's just a small thing. Jiang Tianzheng shook his head and said with a smile, "Since you have now entered the Hadao realm, you don't need to call me senior. Just talk about being friends with me. If you think highly of me, just call me Brother Jiang." "Huh. Okay, Brother Jiang." Duan Ling Tian smiled cheerfully, with great pride. After breaking through to the Hadao, he only felt that the way he looked at the world in front of him was different, except for the normal scenery he could see in the past, and you can still see the looming horizon, like the rainbow dragon's infinite sword. That's the way he fits. This road belongs to an old road, which is covered with devastation, but it contains a heart-stopping ancient atmosphere of vicissitudes of life, as if it is a mystery from ancient times, mysterious and unpredictable. The path of harmony is to step on the path of harmony, fighting with others and fighting with heaven. If the Tao is too bad, it will be like hanging in the air with no place to stay. When fighting with others, you will naturally be at a disadvantage. If the path you follow is a path that no one has ever walked before, then it is a new path. The pioneers of the new way, when they first enter the Hadao realm, their strength is unmatched by those who are in the Hadao realm of the old way, because the Tao is new and will help them even more. On this point, before Duan Ling Tian made his breakthrough, he had heard it said by the Hadao realm Eternal Night Divine Monk from Kuhai Temple. To put it simply, the road is not broken yet and we can move forward smoothly. The old road is generally a bad road. It has been trampled over and over by people who have followed this road in various eras. Basically, every time a move is made, the road will be more consumed and devastated. When a strong Hadao man takes action, his greatest reliance is the power of Hadao, and this power of Hadao comes from the combined Tao. The strength in the body of a strong Taoist has not changed at all compared to the 9th level of the Tao. Breakthrough is no longer like the past, it is a qualitative change of the power in the body. This time, the power has not undergone a qualitative change, not even a change. There is only one thing that has changed. That is, the Tao that I have performed in the past has been substantial. Transformed, I can take advantage of the more powerful it is given after its substantialization. With the power, take action against the enemy. The soul level has changed qualitatively. After joining the Tao, only the soul is improved, and the power in the body is still the power of entering the 9th level of the Tao. In fact, if you don't use the power of Hadao and only use the remaining 10,000 ways that have not yet been combined, you can't even defeat the normal 9th level of Dao. Of course, it is impossible for a strong Hadao man to take action without using the power of Hadao. If the Tao is borrowed too much from others, it is the same as the road being blocked by others. The strength that can be borrowed is not too strong. This is also the reason why the old way is not as good as the new way. However, it is not an easy task to join the new way. Otherwise, no one would choose to take shortcuts. For example, if the new owner or the old owner of the creation life chart wants to rely on the captive creatures in the creation life chart, the way of life sacrifice is a shortcut. The way of sacrifice is one of the most special ways among all the ways. It is impossible for ordinary people to come into contact with it, let alone understand and master it. Only the owner of the creation chart can understand it. This kind of Tao, no matter what kind of Tao it is combined with, the Tao that is born is a new Tao. In addition to this, the 3 paths merge into one, which is basically the new path. Because, without exception, the strong people who can embark on the integration of 3 paths are all talented people in the world of gods and earth. Their talents and understanding are astonishing. Even when 2 paths are combined, they can only follow the old path. When they take the 3rd path, when it comes to Tao, it is inevitable he will also choose a way that can combine with the original 2 to form a new way. In the world of gods and earth, any strong person who combines 3 ways will be remembered in history. It is no secret which 3 ways they use to combine the 3 ways. Infinite Sword Tao, in the past history of the divine earth world, many people have practiced it. Even now, according to what the Yongya divine monk said in the past, among the dozens of powerful Hadao masters in the contemporary divine earth world, there is still one who has practiced it. Also Infinite Kendo. After laughing, Duan Lingtian sighed secretly at the thought. Congratulations, Your Majesty, I have met Your Majesty. At this time, Jiang Haishan and Hong Dongchuan on the side bowed to Duan Lingtian, their voices full of awe. In the world of gods and earth, once you step into the Hadao realm, you are truly the most powerful person. A strong Hadao man, placed anywhere in the world of gods and earth, can be a king and hegemon. At this level, he can travel anywhere in the world of gods and earth, even if he encounters a Hadao who is stronger than himself. Even if he is defeated, he can escape. If Hadao wants to kill Hadao, he will not be able to escape unless the strength gap is huge or he finds an ingenious opportunity. Yes, otherwise it would be difficult to achieve. People in the world of gods and earth, when they meet a powerful person in the Hadao realm, they all respectfully call them venerable. Once you step into the Hadao realm, you can be called the honor of the divine land world. No matter how casual Hong Dongchuan was in front of Duan Lingtian in the past, he was not Duan Lingshan's best friend all the way. The moment Duan Lingtian entered the Hadao realm, he realized from the bottom of his heart that he and his opponent the gap between parties. Unless he can step into Hadao in his lifetime, he will never be able to look at Duan Lingtian with the same eyes he used to look at Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian also knew this, so he didn't say much, smiled and nodded to the 2 of them, and continued to meditate. Seeing this, the 2 of them didn't dare to disturb them. Even Jiang Tianjing continued to stand aside with a smile, looking very patient. Jiang Tianjing. Not long after, a voice came from the eastern sky. It was not loud, but it was extremely concentrated. Only Jiang Tianjing and Duan Lingtian beside him could hear it. Hearing this voice, Duan Lingtian came back to his senses and looked to the east above the clouds in the sky. His spiritual consciousness swept out, and he could feel that the spiritual consciousness that was not weaker than his was sweeping and colliding, which made him feel a tremble in his heart. Another Hadao strongman. Moreover, it is certain that he is not the eternal night monk from the Kuhai temple. Soon, a figure came from the east sky and appeared in front of Duan Lingtian. But it was a young man wearing a green robe, handsome in appearance, holding a folding fan in his hand, looking like a handsome young man. Zhou Qingchuan. Jiang Tianzheng stared at the other party with lightning-like eyes, smiled calmly and said, "I didn't expect that even a lazy person like you would come to our Jianglan Divine Kingdom to join in the fun." Chapter 4686. Zhou Qingchuan. Although this is the first time Duan Lingtian has met this person, it is not the first time he has heard of him. Whether it was the Yongye divine monk, a powerful Hadao realm expert from Kuhai Temple, or Jiang Tianzheng, a Hadao realm powerhouse from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, they all told him about this person. This person is the first person on the Qionghai Divine Island east of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and he is also a strong man in the Hadao realm. In the area surrounding Jianglan Divine Kingdom, there are only 3 powerful people in the Hadao realm, so the 3 of them usually stay close to each other, and they often take the time to visit and discuss the Dao. Lao Jiang, your Jianglan Divine Kingdom is so awesome, yet another Hadao realm person has appeared. Zhou Qingshan laughed, and his eyes quickly fell on Duan Lingtian. He still has a strange face. However, it's not what I expected, because I thought it was unlikely to be Jiang Haitian before. Jiang Haitian is still far away from Hadao. Hearing this, Jiang Haitian on the side smiled bitterly, but did not dare to say anything more. Speaking of which, Zhou Qingshan was still a figure of his generation. Whether compared with his ancestor Jiang Tianzheng or the Yongye divine monk from the Bitter Sea Temple, he was much younger. When he was young, he was overwhelmed by the opponent. At first, he wanted to chase the opponent, but after chasing him, he couldn't even see the opponent's back. Nowadays, the other party is as famous as their ancestors of the royal family of Jianglan Kingdom. This person, in fact, cannot be completely regarded as a monk from our Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Jiang Tianzheng smiled and said, he can only be considered as half of Jianglan Divine Kingdom at best. It is also our Jianglan Divine Kingdom's good luck that he happened to come to us. Oh. After hearing Jiang Tianzheng's words, Zhou Qingshan looked at Duan Lingtian with surprise. Listen to what you said, could this newly promoted fellow Taoist come from the world in the creation chart? A few years ago, the new owner of the creation life chart was discovered and seriously injured, and even the creation life chart was severely damaged. He knew this. Of course, the incident did not happen near Qionghai Island, so he was not involved. Otherwise, those who are targeting the new owner of the creation chart will inevitably invite him to participate in the extermination of evil. Yes, this brother Duan Lingtian comes from the world in the creation chart. Jiang Tianzheng nodded. Zhou Qingshan's eyes lit up, and he raised his hands to Duan Lingtian. Fellow Taoist Duan, Zhou Qingshan is being polite. Fellow Taoist Zhou. Duan Lingtian returned the greeting, and then started chatting with the other party when the other party intentionally spoke to him. Knowing that Duan Lingtian still had relatives and friends living abroad, Zhou Qingshan repeatedly promised that he would have people spread the news about Duan Lingtian widely within the Qionghai Divine Island, so that Duan Lingshan's relatives and friends who may exist on the Qionghai Divine Island can be found in the first place. Time returns to Duan Lingtian. He would help send someone to bring them back. When Duan Lingtian heard this, he immediately thanked him repeatedly. Although Qionghai Divine Island is located in the eastern area of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, due to the harsh environment of the surrounding sea areas, it is dangerous to cross the sea alone in ordinary ways. As a result, there is not much communication with the outside world, and most people live in a paradise state. Because of this, although Duan Lingtian has long been famous in Jianglan Divine Kingdom and surrounding areas, Zhou Qingshan, who is on Qionghai Divine Island, has never heard of him. Otherwise, if someone here breaks through to the Hedao realm this time, he will definitely be able to pass. Duanling Tian is good at 10,000 ways, and he guessed it on Duanling Tian. Duanling Tian, Zhou Qingshan and Jiang Tianjing gathered together to chat, while Jiang Haishan and Hong Dongchuan stood aside silently and respectfully. Congratulations to fellow Taoist Duan. Soon, the travel-worn Yongye divine monk also arrived. Although he had guessed that more than 90% of the people who broke through were Duanling Tian before he came here, it was not until he saw Duanling Tian with his own eyes that he finally confirmed it. Duanling Tian made a breakthrough, and the Yongye divine monk's name for him changed from little friend to fellow Taoist. Fellow Taoist Duan, although it is a good thing that you have entered Hedao, I still want to remind you. The Yongye divine monk said with a solemn expression, although there are only a few dozen people in the Hedao realm in the world of gods and earth, before you break through, there is still one person who is also the Hedao swordsman and the infinite way. In the Hedao realm, if they are combined with the same Tao, once they attack at the same time, they will not be able to fully utilize the power of Hedao. Because of this, it is difficult to become friends even if you don't become enemies when you combine the same two ways. As the Yongye divine monk finished speaking, Jiang Tiansheng's expression became solemn, not to mention the Yongye divine monk, I almost forgot about that person. At the same time, even Zhou Qingshan, who originally had a gentle smile on his face, could not help but tighten his face and his eyes became serious. Three of you, what are you? Duanling Tian looked puzzled, wondering why the three of them were acting like this. Fellow Taoist Duan. Zhou Qingshan said in a deep voice, before you, there was another person in the world of gods and earth who also practiced the infinite swordsmanship. You must also know that if the contract is in the Hedao realm of the same Tao and exists in the same era at the same time, it would be fine if we don't take action at the same time. If we do it at the same time, it will affect the performance of the other party. If one of them fights to the death with others, and the other person robs part of the power of Hedao at the same time, the opponent's offensive will be weakened, and they may even be defeated or even killed. As Zhou Qingshan finished speaking, Duan Lingshan's brows also wrinkled. So, not only will he affect another person in the world of God and earth who joins the infinite swordsmanship, but the other party will also affect him? Isn't this a natural enemy? If he is the only one, you don't need to be afraid of him, fellow Taoist Duan. But the problem is, that man's grandfather is still alive, and he is one of the only three strong men in the Hedao realm who can combine the three ways in the world of gods and earth. Jiang Tianjing looked at Duanling Tian and warned, brother, why don't you go out and hide? I'm worried that that person can't think of anything for a moment and brings his grandfather to deal with you. If he is alone, he may not be able to deal with you, but he can be added that grandfather, even if you are lucky enough to escape, I'm afraid you won't feel well. Injured once, and targeted a second time, it might be the end of life or death. In the world of gods and earth, although strong people in the Hedao realm are rarely killed by others, it is not that no one is killed. As Jiang Tianjing finished speaking, Yongye divine monk also gave Duanling Tian the same advice. Zhou Qingshan also advised him from the side, fellow Taoist Duan, you should hide and avoid the limelight. The meaning expressed by the three people was very obvious. There was no way to make enemies of those two people for Duanling Tian. What they could do was to help Duanling Tian prepare for a rainy day and let Duanling Tian hide early so as not to be caught by the other party. Duanling Tian was speechless for a while, but he couldn't help but feel a little angry in his heart. He thought that after entering the Hedao realm, he would stand at the pinnacle of the world of gods and earth and not be afraid of anyone. Who would have known that just after this breakthrough, he would learn that he might suffer an unexpected disaster? The Hedao realm of the three Daos. For a moment, Duan Lingshan's face became unsightly, but deep in his eyes, there was a cold and fierce light flashing. Chapter 4687. In the world of gods and earth, the most powerful ones are those who combine the three realms. Next, there are the newer, combined Tao realm experts who combine two Tao and the harmonious Tao. Although Duan Lingtian has also entered the Hadao realm, the infinite sword way he has joined belongs to the old path that many people in the world of gods have walked. It is now dilapidated, so the power of Hadao that he can draw on is limited. In this case, there are still people who want to compete with him for the power of harmony. Not to mention that the other party would be unhappy, even he himself would be unhappy. Do you want to destroy me? I still want to kill you. However, after learning that the other party was not only a member of Hadao, but also a grandfather of Hezendao behind him, and might even lead his grandfather to attack him, Duan Lingshan's heart sank, and at the same time, he also felt a sense of conflict deep in his heart. Quantity of yearning. In the third path, he must merge into the infinite sword path. The way of control, integrating the three ways of infinite swordsmanship, and combining them, no one has ever taken this path in the history of the world of gods and earth. Now, his control has reached the 8th level, which is comparable to that of old man Wukong back then. As long as he steps further to the 9th level, he can embark on the path of combining the three ways. I hope he will be wiser and not mess with me. Otherwise, even if he has a grandfather who combines three ways, I will kill him. Duan Lingshan's eyes flashed with murderous intent. He has never been a submissive person. Otherwise, he would not have achieved what he has today. Most of his cultivation and promotion path was accomplished by force. Taking a deep breath, Duan Lingtian looked at Jiang Tianzheng and asked about that person's situation. After learning that the man behind him was also an ancient family with a great business, Duan Lingtian felt relieved. In this way, he didn't worry about the other party being angry with his family and friends if they couldn't catch him. Jiang Tianzheng and the other three also bluntly said that the other party has more wives and children than Duan Lingtian, and they are not in the Hadao realm without any worries. Moreover, if the competition between the Hadao realm involves the other party's relatives and friends, it will anger the rest of the world of gods and earth. A strong man in the Hadao realm who has a family and a sect. After all, no one wants a strong person in the same situation to break this bottom line. It couldn't be easier for a strong person in the Hadao realm to really go crazy and want to kill the family, friends, or even disciples of another strong person in the Hadao realm. Brother, if you are worried, bring your family and friends to the imperial city. Here, as long as I am here, I can take care of them. Jiang Tianzheng said bluntly. Thank you very much, Brother Jiang. Duan Lingtian thanked him repeatedly. He also felt that this was safer, and even if he did not plan to hide, he would not continue to stay in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Because, the moment he stepped into the Hadao realm, he faintly felt the atmosphere of his former homeland. He knew that it should be the breath of the wounded creation life. This surprised him. Because, as far as he knew, the new owner of the creation life chart was the Tiandao of the former world and the land outside the world. He was a strong man in the Hadao realm. After being besieged, he narrowly escaped death and brought him to the world. Escaped with the damaged creation chart. There was no news from him until the day he was born, and his whereabouts have not been found to this day. But now, he can sense where the other person is. To be precise, it is the location of the creation chart. Is it possible that because I am a life born from the world created in the creation chart, I can sense the direction of home after I step into the Hadao realm? Duan Lingtian could only explain it in his mind like this. Apart from that, he really couldn't figure out why he could sense that aura after breaking through the Hadao. Therefore, after settling his family and friends, he planned to visit the hiding place of the new owner of the creation chart. Now, not many years have passed since the last time the other party was seriously injured. Even if the opponent was stronger than him in his heyday, his injuries may not have healed now. As long as he is still injured, he is not afraid of the opponent. Let's see if we can the creation life chart. Duan Lingtian is not very interested in the way of life sacrifice that can be understood after getting the creation life chart. He wants to get the creation life chart because he wants to see if his former hometown of Wuxia, the land outside the world, can still exists. The last time, the new owner of the creation life pan was besieged. He was in the world and saw the world collapse with his own eyes, and he was also thrown out of that world. In addition, while being thrown out, he also saw the Tower of Babel shattered. It seems that all the gods who were in the Tower of Babel at that time had been eliminated by the new owner of the creation life chart. In other words, it has become the other party's food and nourishment. I hope that the world of the 10,000 realms and the land beyond the boundary will still be there. Although the world of the divine land is good, it is still not as good as the homeland. Even if Duan Lingtian has reached this point, he still cannot forget his homeland. If he has the chance, he still wants to go back to your hometown to live, practice, spend time with your family, and be quiet, sit quietly and watch the clouds roll and relax. In the past, he had thought that if he could step into the Hadao realm, he would see if there was a chance to obtain the creation life chart, reopen his homeland, and let his family and friends, as well as those who wanted to return to the original world and the land outside the world, creatures, all one get up and go back. Of course, he didn't tell the three great unions in front of him about being able to sense the breath of the creation life chart. Once you say it, it will definitely cause trouble. The existence of the creation chart is too sensitive for Hadao in the world of gods and earth. He could even foresee that if he could really obtain the creation chart, once the news spreads, even if he did not practice the way of life sacrifice, those in the world of gods and earth would not be able to let him go. To be precise, it is impossible to let go of the creation chart. Fellow Taoist Yongye, fellow Taoist Zhou, then I will go pick up my family and friends first. We will get together again when we have the opportunity. After saying hello to the Yongye divine monk and Zhou Qingshan, Duan Lingshan's figure disappeared in a flash. At the same time, on the infinite sword path on the horizon, an undercurrent surged, sweeping all the way towards Chuzhou. After entering the Hadao realm, Duan Lingtian used the power of Hadao to return to the sky above Duan Mansion in Chuzhou City within a short time. Is that person also borrowing power? When he was approaching Chuzhou City, Duan Lingtian could feel that the power of infinite sword Dao was being borrowed by someone else. It was not difficult to guess that it was the one who had mastered it just like him. Those who practice unlimited swordsmanship are also borrowing the skills of unlimited swordsmanship. The power of harmony. In a place extremely far away from Jianglan Divine Kingdom. In an ancient city that is located deep in the mountains and looks like a giant beast, a figure stands in the sky. The looming sword light roars around it. It is very sharp. The terrifying sword intent sweeps across all directions, making people afraid to approach. This is a young man wearing a green robe. He has a resolute face and a superb temperament, but his brows are furrowed together at this moment. There are actually people who have entered the Hadao realm with unlimited swordsmanship. Although there were strange phenomena when he entered the Hadao realm, when Duan Lingtian broke through, the strange phenomena also swept across the area near Jianglan Divine Kingdom. This place was far away and could not be seen. In addition, the news has not reached here yet, so this person only guessed that someone had joined the Infinite Way and Kendo and entered the Hadao realm by discovering that others were also borrowing the power of the Infinite Kendo. This is undoubtedly a huge bad thing for him. Who is it? The green-robed young man's face was gloomy, with murderous intent in his eyes, looking at the world of the eyes and earth. Among those who are hopeful of joining the Tao realm, who doesn't know that I am joining the Tao of infinite swordsmanship? How dare you combine the infinite way and the sword way to enter the combined way realm? You think I'm easy to bully? Chapter 4688. The world of Divine Land is so big and vast that even a strong person in the Hadao realm can travel at full speed and circle around the world of Divine Earth. Even without considering the obstacles that may be encountered on the way, it will not take more than a few months. There is no way to finish the walk. You know, even Duan Lingtian, a newly promoted Hadao, only took less than a quarter of an hour to return from Jiangzhou, where the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom is, to Chuzhou City, where Duan Mansion is located. It can be seen that the Hadao realm is strong. Speed so fast and outrageous. To the north of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom is the endless sword territory, and to the east and south are the boundless seas. After the eastern sea is the Qionghai Divine Island, and there is land a long way after the southern sea area. The land there is far away from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom. It is better than walking 10 times around the 4 borders of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Even if Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Endless Sword Domain, Qionghai Divine Island and Bitter Sea Temple located to the west of Jianglan Divine Kingdom are put together, they are actually just a corner in the world of Divine Land. Although there used to be 3 major Hideos here, and there were only a few dozen Hideos in the world of gods and earth. However, the reason why the 3 major Hideos gathered here is because this area is suitable for human survival, and they all like to be here. Bien Anjia, even if it is an outsider coming from some dangerous place outside, staying here for a while, also unwilling to leave. In the world of the gods, there are shocking crises lurking in many places. Of course, after a crisis, there are often some chance encounters. Practitioners who emerge from desperate situations and understand a certain Tao that they have never come into contact with before are everywhere in the world of gods and earth. The Wanshan Chen family is a family that has been passed down for countless years in the Wanshan domain of the Divine Land world. In the contemporary world of the Divine Earth, it is one of the top forces. Just because Wanshan Chen's Shuang Hadao, one of them, He Dao, is one of the only few strong men in the world of God and Earth who can combine the 3 Dao. Grandfather, there is someone who follows the path of infinity and swordsmanship. He wants to steal my power of Hadao. I want to kill him. The young man wearing a green robe is also one of the 2 contemporary Hadao masters of the Wanshan Chen family. One of them, Chen Mingho, took the initiative to find his grandfather, another Hadao strongman of the Wanshan Chen family, a Hadao who was more powerful than him. The powerful master of the 3 paths. What? After hearing his grandson's words, Chen Jiuxiao, who looked like a middle-aged man, couldn't help but frown, looking at the entire world of gods and earth, who doesn't know that your path of harmony is the path of infinity in Kendo. Even if some people have deeper attainments in the first 2 paths, in order to avoid you when they attack the combined path, they will choose to comprehend another path and combine with the infinite path or the sword path. How dare you forcefully merge the infinite way and the sword way into the combined way? Are you trying to make enemies of our Wanshan Chen family? When the words fell, Chen Jiuxiao's eyes were filled with murderous intent, and his face seemed to be covered with a layer of frost in an instant. Even if you don't fear his grandson, you should still worry about him, right? Even if you don't give him face as a grandson, you dare to ignore him? Do you know who it is? Chen Jiuxiao asked in a deep voice. Chen Mingho shook his head, we don't know yet. It will probably take some time before we know who he is. Good. Chen Jiuxiao nodded, a cold light raging in his eyes. When I know who he is, if I have a chance, I will take action. If you and I join forces, even if we can't save him the first time, we will definitely be able to save half of his life. As long as we can find him again within a short period of time, he will definitely die. Chen Jiuxiao is still very confident about his own strength. After receiving his grandfather's approval, Chen Mingho's expression relaxed a lot, and at the same time he changed the topic and asked, Grandpa, is there any news recently about the new owner of the creation chart, Yu Luoha? No. Chen Jiuxiao shook his head and sighed, that guy cherishes his life very much. Not only did he use the life-saving means that we had prepared long ago when we surrounded him last time, but he even took away the creation life chart. Got it. As soon as he left, I knew it wouldn't be that easy to catch him again. Now it seems that it is indeed the case. After hearing this, Chen Mingho also sighed. It would be great if we could find him in private and steal the creation chart. If only our grandfather and grandson could find him in the present on the basis of the Tao, combined with the Tao of living sacrifice, the world of gods and earth will be restored. Who is the opponent of our grandfather and grandson? As he spoke, Chen Mingho couldn't help but reveal a bit of greed in his eyes. It's easier said than done. Chen Jiuxiao shook his head. Although everyone shouts about the way of living sacrifice, in fact, how many of those guys don't want to take that way? It's just that they don't want anyone to take that way, so we all choose to intercept that one. The right way. After all, the way of living sacrifice is not only a rare way among all the ways, but also a way that no one has practiced in the world of gods and earth. This kind of Tao, once the combination is successful, the power of the combination it promotes can be imagined. In the world of gods and earth, how many people have reached the level of cultivation that is the Hedao realm and do not ignore the common people? Do you really think that everyone is compassionate and compassionate? Isn't it because everyone is rushing to attack the owner of the creation chart because they are worried that others will use the creation chart to get ahead of them? Not only was he involved in the siege and killing of the new owner of the creation life chart, but he was also involved in the past action of besieging and killing the old owner of the creation life chart. However, at that time, he had not yet joined the third path, and was only in the world of gods and earth. One of the Changhedo. To kill the old master of the creation life chart, he relied entirely on a few other strong men who combined the three paths. It's a good thing you didn't mention this. You suddenly mentioned this, and I remembered something. Chen Jiuxiao's eyes flashed. Back then, before the old owner of the creation life pan was besieged and killed, we heard each other mention it. In the creation world, there are also beings with the same strength as the 9th level of the Tao, but they all became him. The nourishment not only helped him to enter the 9th level of the way of life sacrifice, but was even about to successfully merge with the way. That time, there was no life left in the world of creation and horoscope. But this time, the creation life chart was damaged, and many creatures from the creation life chart world fled to the divine land world. Among them, there are probably some who are comparable to the 9th level of the Tao. The new Hedao who joins the infinite Kendo you are talking about doesn't come from the world of the creation life plan, right? After coming to the world of gods and earth, he successfully merged with the Tao? If that's the case, he doesn't know that you are combining the infinite way and sword Tao, and he doesn't know that combining infinite sword Tao will offend you and offend our Wanshan family, so it's normal. Hearing this, Chen Mingho also felt that this was possible, but his murderous intent remained unabated. Regardless of whether he knows my existence or not, he must die. If he doesn't die, someone will always be able to steal the power of unlimited swordsmanship from me. Chapter 4689. The Wanshan sect is the absolute dominant force in the Wanshan domain, and is even one of the top forces in the entire divine land world. With such a force, the intelligence department under their control is naturally not mediocre. About half a month later, the intelligence department of the Wanshan family found out that a new Hedao had appeared in the distant Jianglan kingdom. Calculating the time, it should be one of their ancestors of the Wanshan family who was keen on the new one. I asked about a strong man in the Hedao realm who joins the infinite swordsmanship. Jianglan Divine Kingdom? Reverse Divine Sword, Duan Ling Tian? From the creation chart world? When the two Hedao members of the Wanshan family, Chen Jiuxiao and Chen Mingho, learned about the information about the new Hedao, they got together again. Grandpa, it seems that as you guessed, the newly promoted Hedao really comes from the world of creation and destiny. Chen Mingho spoke in a deep voice, with murderous intent deep in his eyes. It's actually not hard to guess. Chen Jiuxiao said calmly, if you don't say anything else, I will just tell you that I am walking the same path as you. Not many Taoist monks in the world of gods and earth would dare to do this kind of thing. After all, that would offend our Wanshan family. Only visitors from another world, from the world of creation and natal charts, would embark on this path without knowing it, and even when newborn calves are not afraid of tigers. However, whether he did it intentionally or not, since it has affected you, naturally you can't keep him. I will go with you to the Jianglan Divine Kingdom and try to kill him. Even if I can't kill him, I will seriously injure him. In this way, as long as he can be found out in a short time, he can be killed. Hearing Chen Jiuxiu's words, Chen Mingho's eyes lit up and a cruel smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Visitors from another world? Duan Lingtian from the inverse god realm? If you want to blame it, just blame it on you for accidentally embarking on the same path as me. Otherwise, there will definitely be a place for you in this world of gods and earth. It's a pity that you have offended me and our Wanshan Chen family. Even if you step into the Hadao realm, you are bound to die. Soon. Chen Jiuxiao and Chen Mingho left the Wanshan Chen family, left the Wanshan domain, and went directly to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Wanshan domain was some distance away from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but at their speed, they arrived at Jianglan Divine Kingdom in just a few days, and went to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom as soon as possible. Because of the news they received, although Duan Lingshan's Duan Mansion used to be in Chuzhou City, after he was promoted to the Hadao realm, it was moved to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Duan Lingtian. In the sky above Duan Mansion in the capital, Chen Mingho stood alone in the sky, overlooking the ground below. The sound was transmitted, not only throughout the Duan Mansion, but even spread throughout the entire capital. I am Chen Mingho, member of the Wanshan Chen family. I'm here this time to invite you to a battle to determine the future ownership of infinite swordsmanship. As Chen Mingho finished speaking, the Duan Mansion was shaken up and down. A strong man from the Hadao realm comes to your door. Before that, everyone in the Duan family also knew that Duan Lingtian had been promoted to Hadao and became one of the only dozens of Hadao realm experts in the world of gods and earth. Everyone was surprised by this, because in this way, they would be in this divine land. Earth world you can also survive in a better and superior way. Unexpectedly, less than a month after moving here, another Hadao realm strongman came to the door and invited Duan Lingtian to fight with him. Hong Mansion. Hearing the sound, Hong Dongquan's expression changed slightly. It's Chen Mingho. He's here so soon. Although Hong Dongquan has only entered the 8th level of the Tao, as an aboriginal of the divine land world, at his level, he is also very familiar with the strong ones in the Hadao realm. Chen Mingho is the Hadao realm achieved by combining the infinite way and the sword way into one. After knowing that Duan Lingtian also entered the Hadao realm with these two methods, he also felt that Duan Lingtian would offend Chen Mingho, and Chen Mingho might even come to trouble Duan Lingtian. But he didn't expect it to come so soon. Royal Compound. Jiang Haishan frowned. As the patron saint of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Jiang Tianjing and Duan Lingtian stepped into Hadao realm, the only Hadao realm in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. At this time, they also walked out of the royal courtyard. In the blink of an eye, Feng Su Yufeng arrived near Chen Mingho. Confront it and stand. Jiang Tianjing. The strong men in the Hadao realm who were both in the world of gods and earth naturally knew each other. Chen Mingho nodded to Jiang Tianjing and said, "Hello, I am here for you Jianglan, the newly promoted Hadao Duan Ling Tianer of the Kingdom of God. Come on, it has nothing to do with you." Although he might not be Jiang Tiansheng's opponent if they really wanted to fight, it would not be easy for Jiang Tianjing to defeat him. Moreover, there is a strong man from the three ways beside him hiding in the dark, waiting for an opportunity. Fellow Daoist Chen, I have no intention of interfering in the matter between you and Duan Lingtian. Jiang Tianjing shook his head and smiled. I came here to tell you that Duan Lingtian is no longer in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. He left Jianglan Divine Kingdom with several of his close relatives more than half a month ago. Are you afraid that it's too late? Hearing this, Chen Mingho frowned and his expression sank. At the same time, the tyrannical consciousness swept out and enveloped the entire Duan mansion, and indeed no trace of Duan Lingtian was found. For a moment, his face turned ugly. At the same time, he looked at Jiang Tianzheng with an unkind look and said in a deep voice, "Jiang Tianzheng, before Ling Tian stepped into the Hadao realm, he might not have known that there was me in the world of gods and earth, who was also Hadao of the infinite sword. It was you who told him of his departure was also because of your reminder?" Facing Chen Mingho's almost interrogative inquiry, Jiang Tianzheng's brows instantly furrowed. Although he did not want to provoke Chen Mingho and had no intention of becoming an enemy of the Wanshan Chen family behind Chen Mingho, it did not mean that he was afraid of Chen Mingho. Both are Hadao, and because Hadao is newer, he is stronger than Chen Mingho. If he hadn't been afraid that there was a strong man behind Hadao, Chen Mingho would have made a strong move long ago based on Chen Mingho's current attitude. Already. Now, although he would not take action, he still said in a cold tone, "Chen Mingho, it's best not to talk nonsense without evidence. In the world of gods and earth, we know that you, Chen Mingho, are in the infinite sword Dao. Do you think you are the only one in the He Dao realm? In the world of gods and earth, among all the beings above the 7th level of the Dao, except for those who have no information, who doesn't know that you, Chen Mingho, are practicing the infinite sword Dao?" Chen Mingho was about to speak, but someone spoke before him, "Fellow Daoist Jiang, it was my grandson who took the liberty. How about I apologize to you on his behalf?" Accompanied by a powerful voice, it was Chen Jiuxiao who had been hiding in the dark just now, confirming that Duan Lingtian was not outside the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and he no longer needed to hide. Jiang Tianzheng's brows moved slightly. As expected, this old is here too. Chapter 4690. I've met Senior Chen. Although he secretly scolded the other party for being insidious and being in the three-way Hadao realm, he was still hiding in the dark waiting for an opportunity to attack, but on the surface Jiang Tianzheng greeted the other party with a friendly face. "I said that fellow Daoist Chen has such a bad temper, I bet it was Senior Chen who came here with him. As for apology, there is no need." Even though they were both in the Hadao realm, Jiang Tianzheng was not a match for the Chen Jiuxiao in front of him, because he knew that the other party would not team up with Chen Mingho to attack him because of such a trivial matter. Moreover, with his strength, it is possible to return the whole body at the cost of minor injuries. However, once the two of them take action against him, they will fight him to the death, and they will really fight with their lives. At worst, the lives of the entire royal family of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom will be exchanged for the restlessness of the Chen family in Wanshan. Of course, he knew that the other party would not take action against him. After all, there was no interest dispute between him and the other party. A mere verbal conflict does not rise to the level of a life-and-death fight. This time, the two men came to see Duan Lingtian simply because Duan Lingtian embarked on the path of the infinite sword Dao and had a conflict of interest with Chen Mingho, so they wanted to deal with Duan Lingtian. For the strength of Chen Mingho and the strength of the Wanshan Chen family, it is normal for them to want to eradicate Duan Lingtian. It's a pity that the two of them came to nothing. Before that, he had warned Duan Lingtian with the person from the Bitter Sea Temple and the Qionghai Divine Island, so that Duan Lingtian had already left long ago. Duan Lingtian was even worried about the safety of his close relatives, and even brought out his close relatives. Went for resettlement. In this regard, he actually felt that Duan Lingtian was a little too cautious, because he was sure that as long as Duan Lingtian did not die, even if Duan Lingshan's close relatives stayed here, the two members of the Wanshan Chen family would never be able to do anything to Duan Lingtian. Start with your loved ones. Once they do that, they will become the public enemies of the world of gods and earth. In that case, let's take our leave first. Chen Jiuxiao took a deep look at Jiang Tianzheng, and then left with Chen Mingho. While leaving, Chen Mingho said in a deep voice, "Grandpa, that Ling Tian came from the creation life plan world. He may not know that I master the infinite sword Dao, and he may not know that you and I will take action against him after he is promoted to He Dao. It must have been Jiang Tianzheng who tipped off the news. He felt that if Jiang Tianzheng hadn't tipped off the news, Duan Lingtian might not have been able to take such precautionary measures without leaking anything. So what? Chen Jiuxiao said calmly, if he doesn't admit this kind of thing, how can we press his head and make him admit it? Don't forget, he is also a Hedao, and he is a Hedao who is stronger than you. Unless this kind of person can be killed directly, once he becomes an enemy, it will be harmful to our Wanshan Chen family. Hearing this, Chen Mingho's face darkened further, his eyes flashed with unwillingness, but he also knew that even if he was unwilling in his heart, there was nothing he could do. The Wanshan Chen family had made him a success, but now it also became a hindrance to him. In other words, it was not only his constraints, but also his grandfather's constraints. But, can they give up on the Wanshan Chen family? Of course it's impossible. After all, the current main direct lineage of the Wanshan Chen family is the descendants of him and his grandfather. They are all descendants with their blood flowing in their bodies. They have no way to care about their life or death. Compared to this, Jiang Tianzheng did not leave any descendants. The reason why he protected the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom was simply because it was the headquarters of his Jiang family. It would be far less difficult for Jiang Tianzheng to give up on the Jiang family than it would be for them to give up on the Wanshan Chen family. This is also the reason why Jiang Tianzheng is still strong in front of his grandfather. If Jiang Tianzheng is really angered, Jiang Tianzheng can knock the table off. Grandpa, since Duan Lingtian knew that we would cause trouble for him and left. I'm afraid it won't be easy to find him next. I feel like a knot in my throat is at the thought of such a person contending with me. Chen Mingho said in a reluctant tone. Chen Jiuxiao sighed, there is nothing we can do now, we can only take one step at a time. Duan Lingtian, since he has entered the Hedao realm, he shouldn't hide directly. Let's pay more attention to the news about him. Once confirm his whereabouts and well take action. That's all it can do. Chen Mingho nodded, his eyes full of unwillingness. Although Jiang Tianzheng, Yongye Divine Monk and Zhou Qingchuan all said that even if their close relatives stayed in the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, the two Hedao of the Wanshan Chen family would not be able to take action against them, Duan Lingtian was still worried. So, he took everyone away. They were placed in a small country that looked like a paradise, located further north of the Endless Sword territory to the north of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. With Yu Shao's invincible strength in this small country, he was able to protect his loved ones. Nowadays, those who stay in Duan Mansion of Jianglan Divine Kingdom are basically people who have fled to the Divine Land world from the 10,000 realms and the lands outside the boundary to seek refuge with Duan Lingtian. The people over there, headed by Zhao Ani, are in charge of Duan Mansion and continue to receive old friends from Wanjia and beyond. It is impossible to withdraw. After all, Duan Lingtian still has many relatives and friends who have not been found. For example, there is no news about his son Duan Niantian, and it is not known where he has wandered in the world of gods and earth. When his wife Li rose secretly, he often sheds tears for this, and Duan Lingtian couldn't help but feel heavy every time he saw this. However, his mentality is relatively good, and he feels that he has entered the Hedao realm. As long as his son is still alive, once he hears his name, he will definitely travel thousands of miles to the capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom and return to Duan Mansion. I'll leave this to you. After settling his relatives and friends, Duan Lingtian said hello to Yu Shao and then left. Next, he wants to find the new owner of the creation chart. Of course, he didn't tell anyone about this. Even Yu Shao didn't know what he was going to do. He just thought that he was going to go out and make a name for himself in the entire divine world, so as to find those old friends who were living abroad. He is still injured, so this is a good opportunity for me. It would be perfect if I could kill him and get the creation life chart in my hand. Following the breath of the creation life chart he sensed after entering the Hedao realm, Duan Lingtian followed it all the way, thinking next, when you meet the current owner of the creation chart, you will definitely have to have a fierce battle, otherwise it will be difficult to conquer the creation. The natal chart is snatched. The opponent was injured, so he was very sure of defeating him, but it was very difficult to kill him. Even if the opponent's injury has not healed, he is still a genuine Hedao realm powerhouse, and he was even more powerful in the Hedao realm in his heyday before the injury than he is now. Chapter 4691. The Sea of Storms and Thunder is one of the many dangerous places in the world of gods and earth. Storms rage here all year round, thunder is entangled, and there are many dangers. The terrifying power of nature makes even ordinary Taoists dare not get involved easily. At this time, in the center of the Storm Thunder Sea, deep in the vast sea, there was a cave hidden under the sea. The cave is simple, with only a stone platform inside. At this time, sitting on the stone platform was a middle-aged man wearing a dark blue robe, with a thin body in ordinary appearance, but with a pair of bright eyes. In his hand, he was holding a strange disc. There is something empty on it. The shadow flickers like a holographic projection, looking mysterious and unpredictable. Finally, the world inside has been stabilized again. Yu Luohe breathed a sigh of relief, his eyes flashing. Next, I will also be able to quickly recover from my injuries with the help of some creatures in the creation life chart. With my further attainments in the way of living sacrifice now, I no longer need to be as timid as before. While muttering to himself, Yu Luohe's eyes showed a bit of coldness. In the past, because his attainments in the way of life sacrifice were still shallow, after he obtained the creation life chart and constructed the world inside, in order to prevent the creatures inside from getting out of control, he set many restrictions for them. In the end, the last line of defense is the forbidden tribulation. With the taboo ring guarding the door, no matter how evil the creatures in the world of creation are, they can only reach the 6th level at most and cannot escape his control. Otherwise, once a large number of existences above the 7th level appear, it will be difficult to control him based on his attainments in the path of living sacrifice at that time. After all, his attainments in that path are still far away from the previous attainments of the old master of the path of living sacrifice. There is a long way to go. This creation chart is really a divine thing. Even I, who is in the Hedao realm, can't ignore its rules without destroying it or the world created on it. Although he, Yu Luohe, is the new owner of this creation life chart, before he masters the way of life sacrifice to a certain extent, he can also construct the world based on it, but he also needs to follow some of its rules. For example, there is no way to directly wipe out all life in the world of the creation chart. You can only spend some money and take advantage of the loopholes in the rules. For example, the Tower of Babel a few years ago was a platform he built to harvest resources. As long as the creatures in the creation life chart world enter it, he can use it to harvest those creatures. Last time the creation chart was damaged, not only a large number of living beings died, but also a large number of living beings wandered to all parts of the divine land. Thinking of what happened last time, Yu Luohe couldn't help but feel a pain in his body. If his whereabouts had not been exposed and he was surrounded and killed by a group of Hedao realm experts, he would not have been so passive. Not only was the creation chart damaged, but he himself was also seriously injured. What a pity. It's not easy for some high-quality materials to appear, but basically they all end up in the world of gods and earth. Thinking of the qualifications that he was interested in that could reach the 7th level or above, even though he had had many headaches, it did not affect Yu Luohe's current feeling of disappointment. Suddenly, Yu Luohe's consciousness was shaken, and his expression changed instantly. Not good. Someone from the Hedao realm is here. Yu Luohe never expected that he had been hiding for many years, even though this place was in a secluded location, and he didn't go out to show off. Why would someone from the Hedao realm come here to chase him? Moreover, it came directly towards him. call out. A terrifying and shocking sword light descended from the sea, and it seemed to split the entire sea into two in an instant. The terrible pressure of the deep sea seems insignificant in front of this sword light, as if it is not worth mentioning, and its impact on it is almost non-existent. Boom! There was a loud noise, but it was Yu Luoha who evacuated the cave first, avoiding the terrifying sword light. At the same time, his face became extremely solemn. Infinite Sword Dao? Is this Chen Mingho from the Wanshan Chen family? Thinking of Chen Mingho, Yu Luoha's eyes couldn't help but reveal some fear. Before he was injured, he really didn't take Chen Mingho's Hadao realm seriously, because the other party was not his opponent. And there is nothing that the other party can fear than the other Wanshan Chen family's Hadao behind him, Chen Jiuxiao. Chen Jiuxiao is one of the few superpowers in the world of gods and earth who combines the three realms. His strength is much stronger than what he was in his heyday. Last time, Chen Mingho was among those who surrounded and killed him, including Chen Jiuxiao. Chen Mingho is here. 9 times out of 10, Chen Jiuxiao is coming too. Without any hesitation, Yu Luoha's first thought was to escape. He didn't even intend to fight with the opponent. He showed amazing speed in the deep sea, constantly flashing in. However, many underwater creatures were knocked away by him, one by one turned into powder under the impact of the extremely terrifying force. The deep sea is turbulent, and the violent vibrations caused by the terrifying power are like the scythe of death, harvesting all the deep sea creatures in a large area around it. The response is quick. The power around him was shaking brightly, like a young man enveloped by a huge sword light, rushing into the deep sea, chasing Yu Luoha at a lightning speed, with a light in his eyes. This person is naturally not Chen Mingho. Nowadays, in the world of gods and earth, in the Hadao realm where the infinite way and swordsmanship can be successfully combined, in addition to Chen Mingho, there is another Duan Lingtian. Of course, Yu Luoha has been hiding here, and naturally he has not received any news about Duan Lingshan's breakthrough and promotion to Hadao. Duan Lingtian continued to chase Yu Luohe. Seeing that the distance between the two was getting closer and closer at a slow speed, an extremely hot luster rose in his eyes, and the creation chart was in sight. At the same time, he also looked at the back of the figure he was following. This person should be the new owner of the creation chart, Yu Luoha. When Duan Lingtian was chasing Yu Luoha soon discovered that there was only one person behind him. His unfolded consciousness covered a large area of the nearby sea, and no second person was found. It's really true that a tiger is bullied by a dog. If I were in my heyday, Chen Mingho would not have the courage to chase me. Yu Luoha couldn't help but laugh at himself. The last time he managed to escape from so many Hadao-level attacks was because he used the life-saving means at the bottom of the box. Now, he no longer has those life-saving means to rely on. Therefore, even if he faced Chen Mingho's level of Hadao, he knew that he would be in danger this time. The heavenly words that appeared in the world and outside the world in the past were created by you specially, right? Seeing that he was about to catch up with Yu Luoha, Duan Lingtian asked with interest. He also didn't expect that one day he would still have to hunt down Tiandao. Chapter 4692. In the abyss-like sea area, storms shook and thunder flashed. The sea water, which was shaking like boiling water, was suddenly rushed out of a channel rising into the sky by a swift figure. Yu Luoha ran out with an ugly expression. In his opinion, his chance of survival lay in the sea. In the deep sea of this sea of storms and thunder, storms are relatively calm. The most terrifying storms and thunders are above the sea. As long as he breaks out of the sea, even if the storm outside is difficult to stop the opponent, the other party wants to accurately attack. It's not that easy to keep an eye on him. Because the storm outside will not only affect the field of vision, but even affect the spiritual consciousness to a certain extent. His consciousness was affected, and it was not easy for the other party to target him. Damn dash. Chen Mingho dares to chase me alone. Yu Luohe looked aggrieved. He is also a famous figure in the world of gods and earth. The last time he faced many Hadao who joined forces, the people in the world of gods and earth, it seemed that he was destined to die. The group of Hadao who surrounded and killed him also felt the same way, but it was too late. But he escaped from death. In that battle, he escaped successfully at the cost of serious injuries to himself and damage to his birth chart, and at the same time, he shocked the entire world of gods and earth. It can be said that after that battle, although he was injured and in physical pain, his heart was happy. After all, he, Yu Luohe, was the first to escape from the alliance of the top Hadao in the world of gods and earth. For example, the old master of the creation life chart in the past was slaughtered when faced with a siege, and his body and soul disappeared. The fact that he was able to do this in Luohe undoubtedly shows that he is stronger than the old master of the creation chart. Although his current attainments in the way of living sacrifice are not as good as those of the other party, his reputation in the world of gods and earth is already greater than that of the other party. As for the way of living sacrifice, as long as he can survive well, as long as he is given time, he will be able to rely on it sooner or later. Creation, the horoscope, takes it a step further. Not only does he need to understand the way of living sacrifice to the 9th level, but he also needs to integrate the way of living sacrifice into the 2 ways that he originally combined. As long as the 3 paths are completed, looking at the entire world of gods and earth, he really has nothing to fear. Even if he faced the last siege, he would still have enough strength to retreat calmly, and he would not need to rely on any special means of escape. Recently, Yu Luohe has been hiding in the depths of this sea of storms and thunder, preparing to recuperate from his injuries while repairing the creation life chart, and then participate in the way of life sacrifice, and then continue his unfinished feat. He is already looking forward to the scene in the future when the 3 of them will combine to traverse the world of gods and earth. When the time comes, no one can kill him. But now, he is being chased, or by someone weaker than himself. How can this make him not feel aggrieved or depressed now? Wrong. Suddenly, Yu Luohe heard the sound coming from behind and felt something was wrong. The heavenly words that appeared in the world and outside the world in the past were created by you specially, right? Such a sentence, if it were Chen Mingho's words, would seem a bit abrupt. This Chen Mingho is not from Wuxia or the land beyond the boundary. Of course, Chen Mingho may be able to learn about everything that happened there, including the so-called Tiandao script, through the people left behind in the world of the gods and the world outside the world, but the other party will definitely not take it seriously, let alone bring it up at this critical moment. Yu Luohe subconsciously turned his head slightly and saw clearly the face of the pursuer at a glance. After all, he had forced a passage out of the storm and thunder sea, and the other party was also in this passage with him. Without the influence of the special environment of the storm and thunder sea, he could clearly see the other party's appearance. Duan Ling Tian. With just one glance, Yu Luohe recognized the person who was chasing him. He was a celebrity in the creation world. He was also an invincible existence in the creation world. He was also the one who was fighting against him. His master was the first to break his destiny in the creation of the world, the blockade within Pan World. Through the creation chart, he could actually see everything inside easily. It's just that due to some rules and restrictions in the creation life chart world, even if he is the owner of the creation life chart, he cannot directly intervene in the life and death of the people in it, unless he allows everyone in it to be buried with him. However, it was naturally impossible for him to do that. In his eyes, all the living beings in the creation world are the material that he has raised in it. He needs to use them in practicing the way of life sacrifice, so naturally it is impossible to destroy them. After all, once they are destroyed, the creation chart will become useless and meaningless. Of course, there is another way, which is to lure the other party out of the creation life chart world, but once the channel is opened, a new entry and exit of the creation life chart will be exposed in the world of gods and earth, and the traces will be exposed. Once he was guarded by the backhand arranged by those powerful people in the world of gods and earth, he would have no way to get close. Just like the multiple entrances that connect the world of creation and life to the world of gods and earth, although he knew where he was in the world of gods and earth, he did not dare to get close, because once he got close, he would expose himself. Those original entrances and exits were not made by him, nor by the old owner of the creation chart, but by several people who obtained the disintegrated creation chart after the old owner of the creation chart died. The top power in the world of gods and earth, it was developed with great effort. It is precisely because of this that with the death of the old owner of the creation life chart, the life before the historical separation, such as the old man Wukong who died in the creation life chart, did not know the world they were in. What's the mystery? The entrance leads to the mysterious world. Only Duan Lingtian and other beings who are in the creation world after the historical separation can have access to the 9 entrances. How can it be? He actually joined forces. Yu Luohe only felt a numbness in his scalp. He never expected that Duan Lingtian would join forces. How long had it been? From the last serious injury to now, less than 100 years have passed. And he remembered very clearly that decades ago, although Duan Lingtian had entered the 8th level of the most powerful, that is, the 8th level of the Tao, he had only entered it for the first time. In just a few decades, Ling Tianrua had only been promoted to the 9th level of the Tao. Although he was equally shocked, he could still reluctantly accept it. But now, during this period, Ling Tian directly crossed the 9th level of the Tao and entered the He Tao. Ha Tao. Who among the people in the world of gods and earth does not know that it is difficult to follow the path and reach the sky? This period of time, Ling Tian, a life from the creation life chart world, actually merged with the Tao? No wonder he can track me. Damn it! He is a life born in the world of creation life plan. Before he was promoted to He Tao, he could not communicate with the power of He Tao and could not detect the breath of creation life plan. But now he has stepped into He Tao, the power of He Tao is overwhelming, and the temple unexpectedly, he would naturally be able to detect the breath of the creation life chart that he could not detect before. Seeing Duan Lingtian getting closer and closer, Yu Luohe felt a little desperate. Could it be that he, the master of the creation chart, was going to die at the hands of a being who in the past was just a mere material in his eyes? He is not willing to give in. No matter how talented Duan Lingtian is, even if he stepped into the 7th level under his nose in the past, in his eyes, the other party is still qualified and he has never looked at the other party. But now, less than 100 years have passed since the last time the creation chart was exposed and he was besieged and killed. The qualifications he once regarded as his own have actually caught up with him and entered the world of gods and earth. The sealing cultivation realm, the He Tao realm. Chapter 4693. Duan Lingtian took action. Call out. The deep sea above the head shook, and the rolling power of the infinite swordsmanship swept down from the horizon, like a stream of stars, perfectly integrated with the sword wielded by Duan Lingtian, showing extremely terrifying power, as if the sword is slashed out, it can kill everything. The sword light roared in all directions, slashing at Yuluo who was running for his life in front. Duan Lingshan's eyes were solemn, with a bit of expectation. As long as he kills Yu Luohe, he can get the creation chart. The creation chart is related to his former hometown, the land outside the world, and the world. Who would be willing to leave their hometown if they could return to their hometown? He wanted the creation life chart and had no intention of practicing the way of life sacrifice. He just wanted to see if his hometown was still there. If it was still fragmented, was there a way to repair it through the creation life chart? It stands to reason that there is a high probability that it can be repaired. After all, whether it is the 10,000 worlds or the land outside the world, it is the world opened up by the creation life chart. Duan Ling Tian, if I hadn't been injured, how could I have allowed you to be so presumptuous? Yu Luohe shouted angrily, his voice filled with unwillingness, but he did not sit still and wait for death. He turned around and struck out like lightning, and a bright sword light roared out to meet him. With the power of Hadao that also fell from the sky and broke through the deep sea, he wanted to fight with Duan Ling Tian competes. In an instant, two terrifying forces collided with each other as the swords intersected, making an earth-shattering noise. The aftermath of the terrifying power raged, even evaporating the water in this area of the sea. A large vacuum area appeared. Puff dash. The sword light finally overcame the sword light. Yu Luohe, who had not fully recovered from his injuries, opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood, and retreated while taking action. Duan Ling Tian, on the other hand, is taking advantage of the victory to pursue it. At the same time, Chen Mingho went to Jianglan Divine Kingdom with his grandfather and failed to capture Duan Ling Tian. Not long after returning to the Wanshan Chen family, he felt the vibration of the power of Hadao in the sky. It was obvious that someone was taking action and was using the infinite sword he had combined. The power of Tao. Looking at the entire world of gods and earth, before Duan Ling Tian appeared, he was the only one who enjoyed this path, and no other person could share the infinite sword path. That is to say, Duan Ling Tian, an otherworldly creature from the world of creation life Pan, didn't understand anything, yet he had no worries about the infinite sword Dao, which made him passive for a time, and the power of the He Dao was divided, which also meant that his strength will be subject to influence. It would be fine if the other party acted honestly, but if the other party forced too much Hadao power when he took action, it would undoubtedly affect his performance. The power of He Dao is so vibrating. Duan Ling Tian, are you fighting with someone? In terms of familiarity with the power of infinite sword Dao, throughout the entire world of gods and earth, no one can compare with Chen Mingho, even if he just succeeded in He Dao of infinite sword Dao. Duan Ling Tian did the same thing not long after. After all, Chen Mingho had already mastered the infinite swordsmanship. Fave enjoyed this path exclusively for many years. Now, with this abnormal movement, he can naturally see the source of the abnormal movement. The power of Hadao is so turbulent, he is definitely fighting with other Hadao realms. If he just breaks into the Tao, there is no need to use so much power of Hadao. It was not difficult for Chen Mingho to confirm this. After confirming, he narrowed his eyes, a cold light flashed, and at the same time, a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. Avoiding me, right? You can hide for a while, but you can hide for a lifetime? Just like now, do you want to enjoy the power of Hadao? Dream. Chen Mingho immediately left the Wanshan Chen family and found a secluded place. With full firepower, he tried his best to use the power of infinite swordsmanship to forcibly away the power of Hadao that had been borrowed by Duan Ling Tian. Phew. And this also directly caused the power of Duan Lingshan's shots to drop sharply. This is. Yu Luohe naturally discovered such an obvious change in the decline of Hideo's power. He had already had the will to die because he was injured and was no match for Duan Ling Tian. But I didn't expect that it would take a turn. Has the power of infinite swordsmanship been diverted? After seeing this, Yu Luohe couldn't help laughing. Duan Ling Tian, it seems that the sky will not stop me today. You are not the only one who can master this infinite sword power in this generation. It seems that Chen Mingho from the Wanshan Chen family intends to help me. Next time we meet, I must thank him. When Duan Ling Tian was chasing him, he thought it was Chen Mingho from the Wanshan Chen family, because Chen Mingho combined the infinite way and the way of the sword, but later he found out that it was Chen Mingho from the Wanshan Chen sect. Duan Ling Tian actually joined forces with Chen Mingho in the way of conflict when Duan Ling Tian took action. He didn't think that if Chen Mingho took action at the same time and snatched the power of Hadao, it would affect Duan Lingshan's performance. But, just think about it. Because, in his opinion, Chen Mingho is unlikely to offend Duan Lingtian so blatantly. After all, this time he can steal Duan Lingshan's power of harmony, but next time he fights with others, Duan Lingtian can definitely take revenge. Go. When is the time for retribution? In this case, both parties usually compromise with each other. However, what he didn't expect was that Chen Mingho actually took action. Moreover, looking at this posture, it is obvious that he is robbing the power of Hedao without any reservation. Duan Lingtian, as long as you don't conform to the third path, it will be difficult to kill me, unless Chen Mingho doesn't fight with you. However, judging from the current situation, Chen Mingho must have a grudge against you for joining the infinite sword path, otherwise it would not be possible to the power of Hedao at such a critical moment. When I regain my strength, even if Chen Mingho doesn't fight with you, don't even think about killing me. Haha. Yu Luoha's figure turned into a blade of light, broke out of the sea, and instantly disappeared into the storm and thunder, gradually drifting away. When Duan Lingshan's Hedao power was forcibly snatched away by Chen Mingho, he was about to kill Yu Luoha successfully, but in the end, he missed a move and Yu Luoha took the opportunity to escape from Duan Lingshan's lock, with the cover of storm thunder. Again, in addition, Chen Mingho continues to the power of Hedao, and it is no longer realistic for him to kill Yu Luoha. Continuing the pursuit, it was confirmed that Yu Luoha was faster than him and the distance became wider and wider. Duan Lingtian did not continue the pursuit, but paused, because he knew that this time it must be a failure. We can only wait until next time to take action. Anyway, unless Yu Luoha abandons his creation life chart, he can find him. Moreover, even if Yu Luoha abandons the creation life chart, he can still find the creation life chart. It will be even better when the time comes. He can successfully obtain the creation life chart without having to fight Yu Luoha. After all, his purpose in chasing Yu Luoha was to create the life chart. Chen Mingho. Duan Lingshan's face turned gloomy and ugly when he thought of the initiator who led to his failure in chasing Yu Luoha. He didn't even offend the other party, but the other party misunderstood him like this. Damn it! At this moment, Duan Lingshan's eyes also pulsed with murderous intent that could not be concealed. Chapter 46-94. Although Yu Luoha temporarily escaped, Duan Lingshan's sense of the creation life chart is still there. No matter where he escapes to the ends of the world, as long as he is unwilling to abandon the creation life chart, Duan Lingtian can easily find him. Therefore, there is no situation where Yu Luoha will throw away Duan Lingtian. The reason why Duan Lingtian stopped and did not continue to pursue him was because as long as Chen Mingho kept acting as a stirring stick, when he took action, robbing the combined power of infinite sword Dao, he would not be able to capture Yu Luoha. There is little point in continuing to pursue it. When he used the power of the infinite swordsmanship, I had a clear reaction. I guess when I used the power of the infinite swordsmanship, he who also used the infinite swordsmanship also had the same reaction. Otherwise, it would be impossible for me to step in when I attack Luoha and plunder the power of Hedao, thus causing my strength to plummet. Standing in the sky above the sea of storms and thunder, Duan Lingtian looked gloomy and stared straight in one direction. That was where Hedao Jiang Tianzheng of Jianglan Divine Kingdom told him before, where the Wanshan Chen clan was located. The Chen family of Wanshan is a Shuanghe Tao. One of them, Hedao, is a being who combines three ways. He stands on the top of the pyramid in the world of gods and earth, overlooking the common people. It's really unpleasant, but also helpless. Duan Lingtian grinded his teeth slightly and sighed secretly in his heart, with a hint of unwillingness shining deep in his eyes. The creation chart was right in front of him, but because of Chen Mingho's blockage, he could only let it go. Now, there were two paths before him. The first way is for him to continue to improve his strength, such as integrating the third path with infinite swordsmanship, and combining the three paths into one, becoming a strong man standing at the pinnacle of the world of gods and earth, comparable to Wanshan Chen's Hadao who combined the three paths. The kind of environment. At that time, the power of Hadao he masters will no longer be the power of infinite swordsmanship. No one can rob him of his power. His strength is not weaker than that of the old monster from the Wanshan Chen sect's three paths. At that time, the creation chart will be at your fingertips. However, this road requires a lot of waiting for him. After all, the combination of three roads into one is far more difficult than the combination of two roads into one. At least for now, he has no clue. The previous union of the two realms was also due to a trip to the Temple of the Sea of Bitterness, where I had an epiphany, and that state was something that can only be encountered but cannot be sought. It was also based on that epiphany at that time that the Sea of Bitterness was added to it. Temple Eternal Night Monk with his guidance and observation of the Hadao monument, he took that step and was promoted to Hadao in a short period of time. As for the second way, it is simple and crude. Looking for a helper, he is responsible for locking Yu Luohe's position, and the other party joins forces with him to deal with Yu Luohe and seize the creation life chart. However, there is a problem. Who doesn't want the creation chart? Will the helper he is looking for not be tempted? Even if he is familiar with the Hadao of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, the Hadao of Kuhai Temple, or even the Hadao of Qionghai Divine Island, he dare not trust them. Even if they say that they are wrong about the creation chart, he will only thought they were talking its nonsense. The purpose is to let him lead the way to find the creation chart. Just like what the CEO of a large company said in an interview when he was still on Earth in his previous life, "I never touch money, I have no interest in money." After all, you still have to rely on yourself. Now, unless one of his relatives and friends appears in the Hadao realm, he cannot trust anyone. If he wants to seize the creation life chart, he can still only rely on himself. The world of Divine Land is so big that although it cannot be said to be boundless, it would be difficult for ordinary people to travel all over it. In a remote corner of the Divine Land world, behind a dangerous sea area, there is an isolated island with rich mineral deposits, which is controlled by a nearby force with a fourth level of Dao realm. Here, a group of mining slaves are imprisoned. After they were captured, they have been mining here and being squeezed for endless labor. Niantian, you said you were miserable enough. You finally got freed from the creation life chart world, and escaped being annihilated by the way of life sacrifice. In the blink of an eye, you were sent here by the Chongshan League to supervise the miners' also restricted freedom. In the isolated island, a young man with a strong build and a feminine face shook his head and said to another young man who was tall and impressive. Hearing his companion's words, Duan Niantian smiled bitterly, "I can't help it. The reputation of the daughter of Vice Leader Guo of the Chongshan Alliance is really... I really can't chew it up. If my father knew that I found him such a daughter-in-law, then why don't you peel off my skin?" Since he was exiled from the 10,000 realms to the Divine Land world, he immediately appeared within the sphere of influence of the Chongshan Alliance. The Chongshan League is a Taoist force with a fourth level of Taoist realm. It can be regarded as a small overlord in this corner of the world of gods and earth. When he first arrived here, he naturally wanted to understand the environment he was currently in. However, in the process of getting to know him, he was attracted by the daughter of Guoqiu, the deputy leader of the Chongshan League. Guoqiu's daughter was not bad, but he had already heard about it before he was attracted by the other party. The other party's various affairs. What about 9 dragons and 1 phoenix, 2 dragons playing with phoenix? Strangely enough, the other party fell in love with him, not because she wanted him to be her male favorite, but because she wanted to get married to him. Did you say you fell in love with him at first sight? He said that he was willing to help him, and even for Mingji, the other party personally killed all his male favorites. The scene at that time makes Duan Niantian still feel numb when he thinks about it. That woman is so terrible. Not to mention her cruelty, just talking about her past, he couldn't accept it, and he didn't dare to accept it. Otherwise, if he brought such a daughter-in-law back in the future, he wouldn't be beaten by his father and mother? Originally, he was already determined to die, thinking that when the other party was angry, he would most likely kill him. But even so, he still wants to die to prove his ambition. Unexpectedly, the other party did not kill him, but sent him to this isolated island, saying that he would stay on this isolated island forever and never be able to leave. Somebody is coming. Suddenly, Duan Nianshan's expression became serious, and he reached out and pulled the young man beside him to hide. After all, they had sneaked into this area. According to the rules of the isolated island, they, the supervisors, could not be lazy. If discovered, a punishment is inevitable. It's Lord Xueping and Lord Shengan. The young man next to Duan Niantian looked at an old man and a middle-aged man passing by in the air not far away through the obstruction in front, and said in a low voice. At this time, the sound of the two people chatting without deliberately concealing it was also conveyed in a timely manner. I heard that another powerful Hadao man has appeared in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Is it true? A second Hadao has appeared in Jianglan Divine Kingdom? It's true. I heard that a life that wandered from the creation life chart world to our divine earth world was promoted to Hadao just a few decades after arriving in the divine earth world. It's really scary. Chapter 4695. In the blink of an eye, the other two people who forced Duan Niantian and the two to hide went away, but their words were clearly transmitted to the ears of Duan Niantian and the two of them, and the two could not help but look at each other in silence for a long time. Final thoughts. Only the person next to Tian spoke to break the silent atmosphere. Niantian, I remember that you said. Including you, the beings in the creation life pan world were all exiled to the divine land world decades ago. How could someone be promoted to Hadao so quickly? The young man next to Duan Niantian asked curiously. You seem to have said that the most powerful being in the creation world is a strong man who is comparable to the 8th level of the Tao, and there is only one? Duan Niantian had told his friend about the world of creation, that is, the world, and even the places outside the world. However, he did not tell the other party about his family situation, nor did he tell the other party that the most recognized person in the creation chart world, the 8th level Taoist, was Duan Nianshan's father, Duan Lingtian. Duan Niantian nodded. As far as he knew, in all the worlds, and even the places outside the world, before the creation world changed and the lives in it wandered into the world of gods and earth, his father was indeed the only one who entered the 8th level of the Tao, that is, the 8th strongest one. Order. Although his master, Feng Qingyang, entered the 7th level before his father, he was still at the 7th level before they wandered into the world of gods. Is it the father? Thinking of this, Duan Nianshan's eyes lit up and he was extremely excited. In his opinion, if a strong person from the creation life chart world to the divine earth world has the best chance of entering the Hadao realm in a short time, he is probably his father, followed by his master Feng Qingyang. At this time, the young man next to Duan Niantian continued to speculate. Niantian, is it possible that there is a strong person you don't know about hidden in the creation world? Otherwise, if someone who entered the 8th level of the Tao a few decades ago was exiled to the world of gods and earth, in such a short period of time, even the most genius monster would have no chance of stepping into the Hadao. It's possible to be promoted to the 9th level. It is not an easy thing to achieve the Tao. There are only dozens of strong people in the world of gods and earth, but there are hundreds of people who have entered the 9th level of the Tao. In the world of gods and earth, monks who enter Taoism can be said to travel everywhere. Even among the most powerful monks who have entered the 9th level, there are still hundreds of people who have not reached the point of dying and going to bed in this world. For example, in Jianglan Divine Kingdom and Kuhai Temple, although there are only 3 people on the 9th floor of the Tao on the surface, in fact, there are still 9 people who have walked out of these 2 places and still survived. Quite a few. The reason why they did not stay in Jianglan Divine Kingdom and Kuhai Temple was because the powerful Taoists in these two places could not help them in understanding the 10,000 Taoists, because the Tao they mastered get along with those two the strong do not coincide. In this case, they often go out, or travel on their own to find the Tao, or invest in some Hedao forces that are helpful to their understanding of the 10,000 Tao. In other words, 10 people who have entered the 9th level of the Tao can barely reach one Hedao. The remaining 9 levels of Dao Dao were not able to enter the He Dao realm the moment before they were wiped out by time. Hearing the young man's words, Duan Niantian couldn't help but become suspicious. Is he really not his father and master? But if it weren't for them, in all the realms and beyond, could there be a third existence more powerful than them? He couldn't figure it out. However, now, he couldn't help but feel curious, wanting to know who the strong man in the Hedao realm was. It seems that now I have a chance to take a gamble. Perhaps this is my only chance to leave here. Duan Niantian's eyes flashed. He was confined to this isolated island and was not allowed to leave. Even the Taoist masters stationed on the island did not dare to offend the deputy leader of the Chongshan League named Guo because of him. After all, he was the one named by the other party to be trapped here until he died of old age. Yu Chang, let's go back first. Duan Niantian greeted his companion and returned to his post. Then when the other party began to monitor the mining slaves at work, he walked towards the location of the two strong men who had just come over. Those are two powerful people who have entered the Dao, but they are only on the first level of the Dao. They are considered figures in the Chongshan League. One of them is the person in charge of this isolated island, and the other is responsible for taking people back and forth to receive the mineral deposits excavated here. Leader. Master Xueping, Master Shengan, there is an overseer named Duan Niantian who wants to see you if there is something urgent. Soon, someone came to report to the only two Dao realms on the isolated island. Duan Niantian was not qualified to meet the two of them directly. Duan Niantian? Shengan frowned, this name sounds familiar. Xueping on the side smiled and said, it's normal for you to feel familiar, because that boy was sent here by Miss Guo decades ago. She bluntly said that he would be trapped here until he died of old age, making his life worse than death. It's him. I remembered. Shengan suddenly realized that he had heard about this incident back then, and at the same time he could not understand the choice made by the guy named Duan Niantian. He could obviously get married to Miss Guo, climb up the ranks of vice leader Guo of their Chongshan alliance, and live on top of others from now on. But he rejected Miss Guo and could only spend the rest of his life on this isolated island. But why did he come to us? Shengan was a little confused. Wouldn't it be better to let him come over? Xueping smiled. Soon, the two of them saw Duan Niantian, and Xueping glanced at each other lightly. Duan Niantian, I heard that you have something urgent to come to us for. Tell me, what's the matter? Upon hearing the inquiry, Duan Niantian glanced at the other people nearby. Seeing this, Xueping narrowed his eyes slightly. It seemed that Duan Niantian didn't want anyone else besides himself and Shengan to hear what he was going to say next. This also made him even more curious, and he repeatedly ordered the others beside him to step back. Soon, only Duan Niantian, Xueping and Shengan were left at the scene. Can we talk now? Shengan also looked at Duan Niantian with interest, wondering what the other party wanted to say to them. Two adults, before I say anything, I want to ask you too. I heard that a second Hedao strongman appeared in Jianglan Divine Kingdom recently, but I don't know if his surname is Duan. Duan Niantian took a deep breath and asked while holding his breath, fearing that the other party would say no. After all, this is his only chance to escape from here. Originally, he was thinking of escaping on his own after he was promoted to Taoism. But that would undoubtedly take a long time. Now that he had the chance to leave, he naturally didn't want to wait any longer. Chapter 4696 Faced with Duan Nianshan's inquiry, Xue Ping looked at Sheng'an, because he also heard from Sheng'an about the news about the appearance of a second Hadao realm powerhouse in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. He didn't know the specific details. Sheng'an stared at Duan Niantian with lightning eyes and asked meaningfully, "Duan Niantian, why are you asking this? Could it be that you want to say that you have some relationship with that strong man in the Hadao realm? Don't think that you both have the surname Duan and have similar names, you can fool us." As Sheng'an finished speaking, Duan Niantian hadn't spoken yet, but Xue Ping on the side was startled. Similar names? Although he learned from Sheng'an that there was a strong man newly promoted to Hadao from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and he was from Sheng'an. People who live in the world of creation and horoscope and live in the world of gods and earth do not understand the specific situation of the other party, and they do not know the other party at all. Name. Now, after hearing Sheng'an's words, he couldn't help but be curious. Similar names? What name? Sheng'an glanced at Xue Ping and said, "It is said that the new Hadao from Jianglan Divine Kingdom made an astonishing name in Jianglan Divine Kingdom when he entered the Taoist realm. He was known as the Reverse Divine Sword, and his full name is Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian is now famous not only in the surrounding areas of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but also in all parts of the Divine Land. In fact, because of the long time gap now, even the Chongshan League, a small force in the mountains of the Divine Land world, began to spread the news about his name and the various things he had done in Jianglan Divine Kingdom. Trace. All this is just because he was promoted to a powerful Hadao man. Looking at the entire world of gods and earth, there are only a few dozen people. Duan Lingtian? While Xue Ping's pupils shrank and his face looked horrified, Duan Niantian on the side couldn't help but turn red and his whole body was shaking violently. Although he was mentally prepared, he couldn't help but feel inexplicably excited. His father was promoted to a powerful Hadao man. How many years has it been? Less than 100 years ago. Less than 100 years after arriving in the world of gods and earth, his father, who had just arrived in the world of gods and earth and was comparable to the 8th level of Taoism, was promoted to the top being in the world of gods and earth. Sheng'an was naturally aware of Duan Nianshan's abnormality, and even with his strength and spiritual awareness, he could easily feel Duan Nianshan's emotional fluctuations, and it didn't look like he was pretending on purpose. The names are too similar, right? There's only one word missing. Xue Ping also looked at Duan Niantian, and after seeing that he was very excited, asked, "Duan Niantian, you also come from the world of creation life charts, and your name comes from the same place. The strong men of Hadao in the creation world are so similar. You two can't. Does it really matter?" At this time, Duan Nianshan's emotions calmed down a little. He looked at Xue Ping and said bluntly, "Master Xue Ping, Duan Lingtian is my father." With just one sentence, both Xue Ping and Sheng'an couldn't help but lose their composure. Soon, Xue Ping came back to his senses and said repeatedly, "Impossible." He fell on Duan Niantian with a scrutinizing gaze and sneered, "Duan Niantian, you must have known the news about the Hadao realm powerhouse in advance, so you deliberately made up such lies, right? If you are really the son of that powerful Hadao man, let alone the recent breakthrough to the Hadao realm, even if he just wandered into the world of gods and earth decades ago, it is said that he has already reached the 8th level of Taoism. You have a father who has reached the 8th level. Will you be imprisoned here by Miss Gua?" He had to question. After all, not to mention that Duan Niantian had a father who had entered the 8th level. Even if his father was only a person above the 4th level, Miss Gua would not dare to provoke him. After all, even the people behind Miss Gua, they Guoqiu, the deputy leader of the Chongshan Alliance, has only entered the 3rd level of Taoism. The strongest person in their Chongshan Alliance, the leader of the Shenlong Alliance who has never seen the beginning or end of the dragon, has only reached the 4th level of the Tao. Hearing Xue Ping's words, Sheng'an's eyes on Duan Niantian were also a little more suspicious. After all, what Xue Ping said was completely reasonable. If Duan Niantian had such a father, he would be reduced to the situation he is now. How could she be forced to this point by the daughter of a mere third-level Taoist? Facing the two people's doubts, Duan Niantian did not panic. After all, he did not lie. He smiled bitterly and said, "Two adults, with the temperament of Miss Guo, if I claim that I have a father who has reached the 8th level, I am afraid that definitely will think I'm lying. Even if she doesn't think I'm lying, she will most likely choose to kill someone to silence me if she offends me like that. My father is not only no longer around, but he has wandered to nowhere in the world of gods and earth. Even if I want him to help me, water from afar cannot cure my thirst for nearness. If she has the intention to kill me, I might take the risk. But the problem is, she didn't kill me. So, in order to survive, I can only choose to endure the humiliation and bear the burden." Speaking later, Duan Niantian also looked helpless. Before the two of them could speak again, Duan Niantian looked at the two of them seriously and said sincerely, "Two adults, I don't ask you to let me go now. After all, what I say is unfounded. In your opinion, nor it must be true. However, I still hope that the two adults can find someone to visit Jianglan Divine Kingdom to confirm this matter. I believe that if my father knew my situation, he would definitely come to save me personally. And the two adults will also be able to receive a favor from my father. The favor of a strong man in the Hedao realm is enough for the two adults to send someone to give it a try. There is actually no loss for the two adults, as long as they don't inform Guo Lily of the matter. As long as you are just confirming secretly, even if it turns out that I am lying, you don't have to worry about getting punished for it. Blame Guo Lily." Guo Lily, also known as Miss Guo by Xue Ping and her husband, is the daughter of Wuxia, the deputy leader of the Chongshan League. After hearing Duan Niantian's words, Xue Ping and Sheng'an looked at each other, and they both saw movement in each other's eyes. After all, this is an opportunity to get a favor from a strong man in the Hedao realm. A strong man in the Hedao realm. In the past, in their eyes, the leader of the Chongshan alliance, who was at the 4th level of Dao realm, was an extremely powerful being that they looked up to. A strong person in the Hedao realm is someone that the leader of their Chongshan alliance may not be able to meet even if they want to. Such an existence and a favor can definitely make them reach the sky in one step. I think we can try it. What do you think? Xue Ping Chuanin communicated with Sheng'an. Sheng'an responded, "You can give it a try. It just so happens that after a while, I need to travel far away, and that direction is the direction to Jianglan Divine Kingdom. I will go there in person to see if I can meet the powerful Hedao realm. Please, find out whether what Niantian said in this paragraph is true or false." Chapter 4697. As Duan Niantian said, this matter is beneficial to both Sheng'an and Xue Ping. It doesn't hurt to give it a try. If they really get it right for them, it is a favor from a strong man in the Hedao realm. They had never dreamed of such an outrageous good thing in the past. After the decision was made through the communication, Sheng'an looked at Duan Niantian, his face softened a lot. "Niantian, I will personally go to Jianglan Divine Kingdom to confirm this matter. If what you said is true, I will make your father the first time comes to save you get out. You also know that even if Xue Ping and I believe you, we don't dare to save you. After all, behind Miss Guo is Deputy Alliance Leader Guo. Although we are also elders of the Chongshan Alliance and seem to have a high status, our value to the Chongshan Alliance is not as valuable as one of Deputy Leader Guo's fingers if we are tied together. Even regardless of this, in terms of strength, together they are far from the opponent of Deputy Alliance Leader Guo. So, you have to understand us." As soon as Sheng'an finished speaking, Duan Niantian hadn't spoken yet. Xue Ping also echoed from the side, and his attitude towards Duan Niantian also changed. If this is really the son of a strong man in the Hedao realm, then that is, they need to flatter and support its existence must not be neglected. Even if it's not completely confirmed yet, it's impossible for him to treat the other party as seriously as he did in the past. My lords, I understand. It was not difficult for Duan Yintian to guess what the two of them were thinking, but they still needed their help now, so he said it very politely. At this moment, he also saw the light of escape. At the same time, something moved in his mind: mother should be with father. I just don't know if father has found Soaring and the others. At this thought, he couldn't help but sigh secretly. Since he wandered into the world of gods and lands decades ago, he has been alone. Although he had companions by his side when he was wandering around in the outer land, before the collapse of the outer land, he happened to be alone, so that he and his companions they didn't live together somewhere in the world of gods. Over the years, in this world of gods and earth, although his life is not worse than life, it is also extremely boring and helpless. It is completely different from the past when he was in Wuxia and the land outside the world. How many times he was in a daze, thinking about the good life in the past. However, all of that, before today, had become a mirror in his eyes, hard to reach, and a luxury. But today, after learning that the new Hedao powerhouse in Jianglan Divine Kingdom was his father Duan Lingtian, he realized that everything he enjoyed in the past might not be able to come back. His father was not only the top strong man who could protect him in the world of the world and the world outside the world in the past, but now he was also the ceiling that could protect him in the world of gods and earth. Now, just wait for Shungan to go to Jianglan Divine Kingdom to confirm my identity. Duan Yintian was not worried about this, because he never lied or felt guilty at all. In the next period of time, Duan Yintian lived a much more comfortable life on this isolated island, because Xue Ping secretly took care of him, so that he would not be treated like a donkey like in the past. The reason why it was secretly was because before it was confirmed that Duan Yintian was the son of a strong man in the Hedao realm, Xue Ping did not dare to offend Miss Guo because of Duan Yintian. In this isolated island, there is also Miss Guo's spy. However, it was difficult for others to detect Xue Ping's little tricks, but Yu Chang, who had the best relationship with Duan Yintian and had long noticed that Xue Ping often deliberately made things difficult for Duan Yintian in the past, realized something was wrong. Yintian, Xue Ping is. No, are you in a good mood? I don't even call you around like I used to, probably. Duan Yintian was stunned for a moment, then nodded. Regarding the fact that his father is a new member of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he has no plans to tell the other party for the time being, because telling the other party is useless except to show off, and if the other party really betrays his trust, Guo Lily will know in advance. Xiao, this is not a good thing for him. It's really weird. Then Xue Ping, what good thing happened to him? Yu Chang was very curious about this, but after racking his brains, he couldn't figure out what good thing happened to the other party. It was rare that he didn't continue to target Duan Yintian. At the same time, after Shingan went out to finish his own affairs, he continued to move forward, aiming directly at the location of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. After all, she was a first-level Taoist realm. After a while, she finally entered the territory of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, and immediately found out the whereabouts of Duan Lingtian, the newly promoted Hedao powerhouse of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. The capital of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Duan Mansion. Then, of course, he asked to see Duan Lingtian and frankly told him that there was news about Duan Lingshan's son, Duan Yintian. Duan Yintian? Now, although there are no relatives or friends of Duan Lingtian among the remaining people in the Duan Mansion, there are still some people who know the existence of Duan Yintian. After getting the news, some people immediately went to find the old man Qingyun, Xiaofan. He was also the strongest 7th-level powerhouse of the Qingyun holy sect in the land outside the world in the past. Before Duan Lingtian left last time, he had approached Xiaofan and asked him to help take care of the remaining people in the Duan family. Does anyone know the news about Duan Yintian, the son of brother Lingtian? Xiaofan naturally knew that the son of brother Lingtian had not been found yet. Now that someone came to the door and said that he had news about the other party, he naturally did not dare to neglect and quickly said, "Put down what you were doing for a while and go to Duan Mansion." Now, he also knows that the new Hadao of Jianglan Divine Kingdom is Duan Lingtian. When I first found out about it, I was naturally extremely shocked. Apart from being shocked, I was also happy for Duan Lingtian, and even felt confident in my heart. I felt that in the lives of those who came out of the creation life chart world, there was finally someone comparable to the divine soil. The existence of the top group of strong men in the world. Moreover, he has been tied to Duan Lingtian for a long time. Duan Lingtian is stronger and he can live a more prosperous life in the world of gods and earth. Do you really have news about Duan Niantian, the son of my brother Lingtian? After seeing the person coming, Xiaofan asked straight to the point. At the same time, his spiritual consciousness unfolded, and his aura swept out, oppressing the other person's body, making him tremble, and his eyes were dead. Staring at the opponent's face, wanting to confirm whether the other party is lying through their micro-expressions. So strong. Sheng'an was shocked in his heart. At the same time, he felt as if his whole body was about to fall apart. He realized that the person in front of him was definitely above the fourth level of the Tao, so he quickly begged for mercy, "My lord, please put away your spirit. Knowledge, if Duan Lingtian, if your excellency really has a son named Duan Niantian, I do know where he is now." But he didn't know that Xiaofan was not a fourth-level Daoist, but a seventh-level Daoist. Where is he? Xiaofan's eyes lit up, and at the same time he stopped pressing the other party and asked bluntly. After learning about Duan Niantian's current situation from Sheng'an, Xiaofan's face darkened and his eyes shone with coldness. "My lord, please convey this matter to Lord Duan Lingtian." Sheng'an continued. Although the strength of the person in front of him is not weak, not even under the leader of their Chongshan alliance, the target of his trip is the newly promoted Hadao strongman, not the other party. The other party's favor is not in the Hadao realm. The favor of a strong person is of high value. Chapter 4698. Brother Lingtian has gone away on business and won't be back for a while. Xiaofan glanced at the other party and said impatiently, "You can tell me the same thing about this matter. Don't worry, if this matter is done, as long as you can help me bring back my Niantian nephew, I, Xiaofan, will never treat you badly." I, Xiaofan, although my strength is far inferior to that of brother Lingtian, I am also at the seventh level of Taoism. At this time, after hearing Xiaofan's words, Sheng'an finally came to his senses. Brother Lingtian? The man in front of him seems to have called Duan Lingtian, the powerful Hadao man, brother Lingtian from the very beginning. This shows that the relationship between the two is extraordinary. Moreover, the opponent turned out to be a being on the seventh level of the Tao, much stronger than he imagined. Such an existence is far inferior to even the leader of their Chongshan alliance. Sheng'an took a deep breath, looked at Xiaofan with a careful smile and said, "Sir Xiaofan, if you bring Master Niantian back, I hope you can say a few nice words for me in front of Master Duan Lingtian in the future, and tell him that his name is Shengan, and he is an elder of the Chongshan League in the Dark Night Forest in the eastern region of Xiaoshan Island." After confirming that what Duan Niantian said was true, Shengan also called Duan Niantian Master Niantian and seemed to be very familiar with him. Hearing Sheng'an's words, Xiaofan took a deep look at Sheng'an and finally came to his senses. This is his plan to ask for favors from his brother Lingtian. He smiled calmly and said, "Brother Shengan, don't worry about this. If you can help my nephew Niantian return home, let alone my brother Lingtian, I won't treat you badly. Even I won't treat you badly. You know, my nephew Niantian is the only son of brother Lingtian. You should know what he means to my brother Lingtian. It can be said that even if you make demands of me, as long as I can do my best, I will never treat you badly." As soon as Xiaofan said these words, Sheng'an was pleasantly surprised. He didn't expect that Duan Niantian was the only son of the newly promoted Hedao strongman. It seemed that he had made a lot of money this time. He didn't expect that he just came to confirm with the idea of "try it," which verified the truth of what Duan Niantian said. At the same time, he thought of the eldest lady of the Guo family who had imprisoned Duan Niantian on that isolated island. This time, not only will Guo Lily be in trouble, but also our Chongshan League's deputy leader Wuxia, and even the entire the Guo family will probably be in trouble too. As for betraying his deputy leader, Shengan didn't feel any psychological pressure at all. Because he knew that even if the alliance leader knew about this, the alliance leader would not be unhappy. After all, he was the one who saved the Chongshan alliance. If the powerful Hedao men came to the door on their own, would the Chongshan alliance still exist? As the leader of the Chongshan alliance, can he still survive? When the time comes, the alliance leader will definitely be very grateful to him. Coupled with the care of the 7th level Taoist in front of him and the favor of the Hedao level powerhouse, Shengan will reach the pinnacle of his life from now on. Master Xiaoani, when is it convenient for you to come with me? Shengan asked. Xiaoani pondered for a moment and said, I will go to the royal family first to say hello to someone, and then I will come back and set off with you. There is no way, now he is not only taking care of the people in Duan Mansion, but also his own people. There are many people here who need his care. When he leaves temporarily, he must say hello to the royal family and ask them to take care of them. His own people and the people of Duan Mansion. With the friendship between his Ling Tian brother and the powerful royal family, it was impossible for the powerful royal family to refuse this. Xiaoani went to the royal family. After saying hello, he asked directly if he wanted the royal family to send a strong person to accompany him. In the end, for the sake of safety along the way, Xiaoani was accompanied by a 7-level strongman from the royal family and went with him to the remote Xiaoshan Island. When Shengan listened to Zhao Enya's introduction to the new faces around him, he was not too shocked. After all, he was also the son of a newly promoted Hedao strongman from Jianglan Divine Kingdom. It was very reasonable for the royal family to send a strong man to accompany him to pick him up. In this way, Shengan took Xiaoani back to Xiaoshan Island. On the way, Shengan also told Xiaoani truthfully what happened to Duan Niantian there. Before Xiaoani could speak, the strong man from the royal family was already numb and took a breath of cold air. He didn't expect that there would be someone who could seek death to that extent. Even the only son of a strong man in the Tao realm would dare to provoke him like that. Waiting play step, it is simply asking for death. Zhao Enya's face turned completely gloomy, his eyes flashed with murderous intent, and he had already sentenced the Guo family father and daughter to death in his heart. Xiaoani led Shengan along the way, so the same journey took Shengan a long time to go to Jianglan Divine Kingdom, but it didn't take long to go back. Lord Xiaoani, in front of you is Xiaoshan Divine Island. Xiaoshan Divine Island, there used to be a strong Hedao master, but that strong Hedao passed away 3,000 years ago. Now the strongest ones on Xiaoshan Divine Island are 2-bit in the existence of the 9 levels of the Tao. When he was about to arrive at Xiaoshan Divine Island, Shengan introduced to Xiaoani, our Chongshan alliance is just an ordinary force in the Dark Night Forest in the eastern region of Xiaoshan Divine Island. The strongest leader is a being who has entered the 4th level of Taoism. As for the deputy alliance leader Wuxia, he has only entered the 3rd level of Taoism. Soon, Shengan took Xiaoani directly to an isolated island near the Dark Night Forest on the coast. It was also a mining area occupied by the Chongshan League, and Duan Niantian was inside. Shui Ping saw Shengan bringing someone back, and the 2 people around Shengan gave him a feeling of extreme danger. He didn't even need Shengan to tell him, he had already guessed that what Duan Niantian said was true, and it was indeed that Jianglan God the son of Guoxin Hedao. Shui Ping, take the 2 adults to see Master Niantian. Shengan urged. At the same time, the voice message reminded, these two are both strong men who have entered the 7th level. Entering the 7th floor. Hearing this, Sheng An's heart trembled. With such a presence, looking at the entire Xiaofan island, he was considered a giant. "Two adults, please come this way." Xue Ping did not dare to neglect and quickly took the two of them to find Duan Niantian. "Niantian, do you still remember me?" Zhao Ani had met Duan Niantian before. Although he only met him once, he remembered him in his heart. Now he saw this man who was somewhat similar to his Ling Tian brother again. Little guy, of course he recognized the right person at a glance square. "You are Uncle Zhao." Duan Niantian naturally remembers Zhao Ani. After all, this was the most powerful 7th-level powerhouse of the Qingyun holy sect in the land outside the world. "Ha, it's me." Zhao Ani laughed, "Don't worry, you are completely safe from now on. Uncle Zhao will take you home." As soon as these words came out, Duan Niantian looked excited and felt that his waist was completely straightened. Chapter 4699. Since Yu Luohe, the new owner of the creation chart, was indirectly rescued by Chen Mingho of the Wanshan Chen family, Duan Lingtian followed the attraction of the creation chart to him and chased Yu Luohe several times. However, at every critical moment, Chen Mingho would take action to seize the combined power of infinite sword Dao, greatly reducing his strength, allowing Yu Luohe to escape again and again. Even, the most recent time, Yu Luohe the injury further recovered. Under Chen Mingho's tricks, Yu Luohe did not even choose to escape. Instead, he stayed and fought with him fiercely. In the end, it ended in a draw, and Yu Luohe also after confirming that he couldn't take down Duan Lingtian, he laughed arrogantly and walked away. "Duan Lingtian, I advise you not to mess with me again. Otherwise, when I recover further from my injury next time, and with Chen Mingho's help from across the air, you will be doomed to be disgraced when you fight me." This time, Yu Luohe was very arrogant when he left, as if he was eager for Duan Lingtian to find him again. Duan Lingshan's face was naturally very ugly. Because he knew that although the other party's words were unpleasant, they were true. The recent battles also made him realize that Yu Luohe's injuries were constantly recovering, and now he had recovered to the point where he could draw a tie with him who was beaten by Chen Mingho. Next time, as Yu Luohe recovers further from his injury, he will most likely be at a disadvantage if he continues to be overtaken by Chen Mingho. Watching Yu Luohe leave, Duan Lingtian did not pursue him because he knew that it would be useless to pursue him, and at most he would end up in a draw. Although I felt aggrieved and angry, there was nothing I could do about it. Chen Mingho. After coming to the world of gods and earth for nearly 100 years, Duan Lingtian felt unforgettable hatred for a person for the first time. The murderous intent in his eyes was hard to hide. This account, one day, I, Duan Lingtian, will make a good settlement with you Ichiban. In a flash, Duan Lingtian had disappeared from the spot. At the same time, in the distant Wanshan Chen clan, Chen Mingho, who was fighting for the way, confirmed that Duan Lingtian did not continue to use the infinite power of swordsmanship, and then stopped, with a sinister smile on his lips. "Duan Lingtian, as long as I, Chen Mingho, are here, you can't even think about using the combined power of infinite sword Dao to your heart's content." At some point, an old figure appeared. He glanced at Chen Mingho and shook his head. "If you do this, you will not only treat the symptoms but not the root cause. Even for you, you will kill 1,000 enemies and lose 800 to yourself. Today, you can steal Ling Tian's combined power. In the future, when you fight with others, he can also steal the power and affect you. The person coming is none other than the being of the Wanshan Chen family who combines the 3 realms, Chen Jiuxiao. Grandpa, you don't have to persuade me on this matter." Chen Mingho shook his head and said, "If I don't do this, my thoughts will not be clear, and it will be difficult to comprehend the 3rd path to the 9th level, let alone combine the 3rd path. Furthermore, Duan Lingtian came out of the world of creation and life, and is helpless in the world of gods and earth. He can only rely on himself for everything. If he is overtaken by me, he will definitely feel more frustrated than if I am overtaken by him. After all, I still have my grandfather as my backer. With you here, Grandpa, who dares to bully me? After talking about it, a look of pride appeared on Chen Mingho's face at the right time. Seeing this, Chen Jiuxiao said no more. When the news of Duan Lingshan's promotion to Hadao spread throughout most of the world of gods and earth, people who had a grudge against him from the original birth chart also received news one after another. Duan Lingtian was promoted to Hadao. During the recent period, although Lei Hong was still in Jianglan Divine Kingdom, he had been in seclusion and ignored what was going on outside the window. It was not until he left seclusion today that he heard that Duan Lingtian had been promoted to the Hadao realm a year ago. For a moment, his expression turned completely gloomy. Although he was no match for Duan Lingtian when he created the Life Pan world, and was even almost killed by Duan Lingtian, and wasted his life-saving means, this did not affect his hatred for Duan Lingtian at all. He was not afraid of the other party, and even dreamed of taking revenge on Duan Lingtian in various ways. This was also the reason why he wanted to take action against Duan Mansion last time when Duan Lingtian was not in Duan Mansion. He knew that he was hardly Duan Lingshan's opponent and could only seek revenge in this way. Although he has always known in his heart that with Duan Lingshan's heaven-defying talent, even if they were exiled to the world of gods and earth together, it would be difficult for him to catch up with him. However, it did not mean that he did not want to chase him, close the distance with him, or even as for catching up with each other one day in the future. The world of Divine Land is huge, with many opportunities and adventures beyond ordinary people's imagination. Maybe one day he will get lucky and catch up with Duan Lingtian or even surpass Duan Lingtian by chance. But now, after learning that Duan Lingtian was promoted to Hadao, he felt despair deep in his heart. He felt that it was almost impossible for him to catch up with Duan Lingtian in this life. Under such circumstances, it is naturally impossible for him to be in a good mood. Therefore, Lei Hong found a restaurant and kept pouring himself alcohol, making himself like a drunkard. He drank for several days and nights before stopping. Finally, when he sobered up, he began to warn himself, from now on, unless you are completely sure, you cannot easily touch the people around Duan Lingtian. After all, Duan Lingtian is not what he used to be, and there may be some tricks left that can cause him to capsize in the gutter. Revenge must still be avenged. However, you need to be more cautious. Not only was Lei Hong depressed about Duan Lingshan's breakthrough, but also Yun Xinfeng, who was somewhere in the Divine Land world far away from Jianglan Divine Kingdom, was also the former Yun Qingyan. After learning that Duan Lingtian was promoted to Hadao, my face is also difficult look beyond compare. His luck is pretty good. After coming to the world of gods and earth, he has encountered many adventures, and now he has entered the 4th level of the Tao. Under this situation, he felt that the distance between him and Duan Lingtian was getting closer and closer, and he might not have the chance to kill Duan Lingtian with his own hands. After all, before this, he, who was outside the boundary, never dared to dream that he would still be able to kill Duan Lingtian. I can kill Duan Lingtian with my own hands because the gap is too big, and there is a forbidden calamity blocking the way. Even if an ordinary person can break through to the strongest level, at the 6th level, it is also difficult to enter the 7th level. After coming to the Divine Land world, he felt like a fish in water, and even felt that this was his blessed land. More than once, he has dreamed of coming to seek revenge on Duan Lingtian in person, trampling Duan Lingtian under his feet again, recreating the scenes when he trampled Duan Lingtian under his feet when he went to that secular plane. Even after stepping on it, he will not let Duan Lingtian go like he did in the past. This time he will kill Duan Lingtian completely to avoid future troubles. He still regretted the thought he had made at that time, raising a tiger for trouble, and he still regretted it when he thought about it. He wished he could be reborn and go back to that moment, where he killed Duan Lingtian completely regardless of his cousin Xia Ningxu's dissuasion. Now, after learning that Duan Lingtian had broken through and been promoted to the Hadao realm, Yun Xinfeng collapsed on the ground with a look of despair and helplessness on his face, and the confidence he had finally built collapsed. How to pursue this? Duan Lingtian has now been promoted to Hadao and has become one of the dozens of most powerful people in the world of gods and earth. Even if he has a chance to become a strong man in the Hadao realm in the future, it is unrealistic to catch up with Duan Lingtian and want to kill him. Moreover, he really has no confidence that he can succeed in Hadao and enter Hadao in his lifetime. Hadao is so difficult. Chapter 4700. Whether it was Lei Hong or Yun Xinfeng, Duan Lingtian naturally didn't know what they were thinking right now. Of course, the current Duan Lingtian has not noticed these two people for a long time. At most, he is a little defensive in his heart to avoid being taken advantage of by the other party to steal his home and hurt his relatives and friends. Although he has now become a strong man in the Hadao realm, he is too busy to take care of his family and friends at all times. The world of divine earth, unlike the world of creation and destiny, has the power of laws, which can condense the clones of laws. At first, when the world of creation and destiny collapsed and fell into the world of gods and earth, Duan Lingshan's clone of laws was annihilated and disappeared. Unless you can return to the creation life chart world again and sense the power of the law, you can condense the law clone again. Go back first. Duan Lingtian, who did not intend to continue chasing Yu Luoha, chose to go back to his wife's parents. After confirming that they were all safe and sound, he returned to Jianglan Divine Kingdom alone. Is there any news about Niantian? After learning from the royal family of Jianglan Kingdom that someone knew about his son Duan Niantian, and that Zhao Ani had brought a royal family to the 7th level to pick up his son, Duan Lingshan's eyes brightened, and he also told Jiang Hai Shandao said thanks. Jiang Tianzheng, the powerful Taoist in the royal family, hardly cares about anything. Except for the contemporary emperor, the person in charge of the royal family is Jiang Haishan, who is on the 9th level of Taoism. Looking at the entire Xiaofan divine island, the Chongshan alliance is just an insignificant small force. The Dark Night Forest, which is located in the coastal corner of the eastern region, cannot even be ranked among the top 3 among the many forces in the Dark Night Forest. If we say that the strongest force in Xiaoshan Island is none other than the Xiaoshan Dao sect. Just by looking at the name, you can tell that this sect has the same name as Xiaoshan Divine Island. In fact, the reason why Xiaoshan Divine Island was renamed Xiaoshan Divine Island was because of Xiaoshan Dao sect. The Xiaoshan Dao sect may not be the oldest force on the Xiaoshan Island, but it is definitely the most powerful force. Just because, in the history of Xiaoshan Dao sect, there have been 3 strong men in the He Dao realm. Even the last strong man in the Hadao realm on Xiaoshan Island came from the Xiaoshan Dao sect. Although there are no powerful people in the Hadao realm in the contemporary Xiaoshan Dao sect, there are as many as 3 people who have entered the 9th level of the Dao. As for the 8th level of the Dao, there are more than 10 people. Of course, most of them are traveling outside to seek breakthroughs. Only 1 who has entered the 9th level and 3 who have entered the 8th level stay in the Xiaoshan Dao sect. One of them, who entered the 8th level of Taoism, was named Yang Tianhe, and he was the great elder of Xiaoshan Taoism. Now, he was frowning and looking at his son in front of him. Do you really want to marry her? With her status and background, she is not worthy of being your Taoist companion. Yang Tianhe looks like a middle-aged man, with a resolute face, tall body, and a hint of majesty in his movements. And his son Yang Chun, whose facial features are quite similar to his, has a hint of immaturity between his eyebrows. At this time, he is looking at Yang Tianhe seriously. Father, Yao Yao and I are. Love. Love? Yang Tianhe smiled coldly. In my opinion, she has taken a fancy to your background, right? The person you love her may not necessarily be the one she loves. Yang Tianhe had many children in his life, but the one he loved most was the young son in front of him. His love for this young son even made other sons doubt whether they were his biological children. "Father, Yao Yao doesn't know my identity," Yang Chun said seriously. "Even in front of her, I only showed the same level of cultivation as hers. Moreover, our meeting was purely a coincidence." Before Yang Tianhe could speak, Yang Chun begged, "Father, please help the child. With your status, you don't need the child to marry anyone, just let the child be with true love." Seeing this, Yang Tian's frown deepened, but he didn't say anything more and said calmly, "Now, as a father, I am curious, what kind of woman is it that makes you obsessed with this? Take me with you. If your father thinks she's okay, then he can propose marriage to his family and choose a good day for you to marry her." Hearing this, Yang Chun was ecstatic. "Thank you, father. Thank you, father. Yao Yao will definitely satisfy you. Let's go." Yang Tianhe stepped out, and in a blink of an eye he was already thousands of miles away from Xiaofan Dao sect, and his son was also taken with him. "You said before that her home is in the east region?" "Yes, father." Yang Chun responded quickly. "She is the second daughter of Wuxia, the deputy leader of the Dark Knight Forest Chongshan Alliance in the eastern region. Her name is Guo Yaoyao, and she has an older sister." It's a coincidence. When Yang Tianhe and Yang Chun, father and son, arrived at the Chongshan League and near the Guo Mansion, it happened that Shingen was leading the way to the Guo Mansion for Zhao Ani, Duan Yintian and the 7th-level powerhouse from the royal family of the Jianglan Divine Kingdom to arrive at the Guo Mansion, and Zhao Ani said. Ru Hongzhong shouted coldly, "Guo Qiu, take your daughter and get out and die." Zhao Enya's voice, carrying terrifying power, vibrating and giving, swept through the Guo Mansion, making the entire Guo Mansion restless, and more than 90% of the people were in a state of panic. He was so shaken by the sound that he felt dizzy, and even had bleeding from all his orifices. He fell directly to the ground and died. After a moment, a pale-faced man with a beard came out of the air and looked at Zhao Ani in the distance. His eyes were full of fear, but he still had the courage to raise his hands and asked, "My lord, I don't know how my daughter and I were offended. You?" Although Duan Yintian was standing next to Zhao Ani, Guo Qiu did not know Duan Yintian because the two had never met before. Duan Yintian? However, at this moment, Guo Lily, a young woman with a good face and a slightly fat body, who was in the Guo Mansion, was pale and staring at Zhao Ani with shock and disbelief. Duan Yintian said, "Why? Could it be him? Where did he find such a strong person? Is this your revenge on me?" At this moment, Guo Lily's heart was full of regret. If she had known that this thought could lead to today's scene, she should have directly destroyed the opponent and eradicated it. "Sister, do you know him?" Next to Guo Lily was another beautiful woman who looked very similar to her, much prettier than her, and had a much stronger figure. Her face was also slightly pale at this time. The sound just now was so terrifying that it shocked her. Her eardrums were ruptured, and her meridians were almost disrupted while she was practicing. She is none other than Guo Qiu's second daughter, Guo Yaoyao. Yao Yao. At this time, Yang Chun, who had just arrived, also saw Guo Yaoyao. His eyes suddenly lit up, and he said to Yang Tianhe beside him, "Father, that is the person I like, Guo Yaoyao. It's better to come early than to come by chance. Now someone happens to be looking for trouble for my future father-in-law and future sister-in-law. Father, please come out to protect them. In this way, they will definitely treat me as my future uncle in a different light." Chapter 47:01. However, unlike his son Yang Chun's innocence, when Yang Tianhe looked at the person who was attacking the Guo family not far away, his eyes showed a bit of solemnity. This old man, and another middle-aged man beside him, stood there with their consciousness exposed. It was not difficult for him to confirm that both of them were 7th-level Dao existences. Although they were weaker than him, they had this level of cultivation. Definitely not ordinary people, at least. There is no existence of this level in the eastern Dark Night Forest. In other words, these two people came from outside the Dark Night Forest. Shut up. Yang Tianhe scolded his son Yang Chun, you idiot, what else can you think of besides women? 2 7th-level Taoists came to the Guo family to cause trouble. There must be a reason. You can't even connect these two people. I don't even know his background, so I just thought it's so stupid to show off in front of that woman. 2 people entering the 7th level? Yang Chun was frightened when he heard his father's words. He never expected that the people who came to the Guo family to cause trouble this time were actually 2 beings who had entered the 7th level. They were powerful beings second only to his father. Killing him would be as easy as trampling an ant to death. The other side. After learning the ins and outs of the matter from Duan Yintian, Guoqiu's face turned pale. He never expected that his daughter would provoke someone with such a background. He actually didn't know about this. It was all done by his daughter alone. 2 adults, this young master, Guoqiu, did not know about this matter. It was all done by my daughter Guo Lily. I will bring her here and hand her over to you. After Guoqiu finished speaking, he hurriedly brought his daughter Guo Lily over, and Guo Yaoyao also followed. Guoqiu had many sons, but only 2 daughters, so he loved his 2 daughters the most. However, now that the eldest daughter has caused a huge disaster, he knows full well that he cannot save her. Rather than die together, it is better to send the eldest daughter out and hand it over to the other party, so that he may still be able to survive. Father, what are you doing? Guo Lily's face changed drastically, and her eyes looking at Duan Yintian were also filled with fear. If she had known that Duan Yintian had this background, she would not have dared to provoke him even if she was killed. Even if he provoked him, he would have definitely eradicated it long ago, so that the other party would not come to settle the score today. Just now, before her father Guoqiu left, he had told her that the people who came were so powerful that they were even far superior to the leader of their Chongshan alliance. What does that mean? It means that the person coming is at least on the 5th level. If you have done something wrong, take responsibility for it yourself and don't involve your family. A hint of unbearability flashed deep in Guoqiu's eyes, but it was quickly replaced by determination, and he gritted his teeth and said in a deep voice. When Guo Lily heard this, her pretty face turned pale, and her whole body trembled violently. Then she looked at Guo Yaoyao beside her and begged, Yaoyao, please save your sister, you must save your sister. Didn't you tell me before that you were here? The prospective Taoist companion found outside. Is he the son of the great elder of Xiaofan Taoist sect? The great elder of Xiaofan Dao sect is a person who has entered the 8th level of Taoism. Guo Yaoyao looked helpless. So what if her would-be Taoist companion had a background in the Xiaofan Taoist sect? No one is here. Moreover, the matter between the 2 of them may not be settled yet, and the other party's father still needs to make a decision. She herself felt that this matter might not be possible, because beings at that level would definitely value a good match. He and the other party's son may fall in love freely, and the other party may not support it. If not, she has no doubt about the other party's love. A son will choose his father, not him. This is the truth. In this world where the strong are respected, love between men and women is not worth mentioning in the face of a powerful backer. Snort. At this time, young Tianhe in the distance heard Guo Lily's words and couldn't help but glare at his son beside him. Didn't you say that Guo Yaoyao doesn't know your identity? Her sister clearly revealed your identity. Yang Chun was startled at first, then smiled awkwardly. Father, I told her later, she didn't know my identity and background when she first started dating me. At this moment, Guo Yaoyao in the distance was looking around anxiously, and suddenly she spotted Yang Chun. Her eyes brightened for a moment. Brother Chun. This time, Yang Chun couldn't pretend not to be there anymore. After saying hello to his father, Yukong approached. Yang Tianhe frowned slightly, fearing that his son would suffer a loss, so he followed him. Guo Lily, who was already in despair, couldn't help but look into the distance after hearing her sister's exclamation. When she saw the two people coming from the sky, a glimmer of light rose in the depths of her eyes, as if she had caught someone. Got the last one to save life? Straw asked. Is it my sister's quasi-Taoist companion, Yang Chun? The son of the great elder of Xiaofan Dao sect? The person behind him is his protector? At the same time, Wuxia was also attracted by Yang Tianhe and Yang Chun, father and son. His second daughter found a quasi-Taoist companion outside with a different background. He knew about this, but he was not too excited because he knew that the other party's father might not like their family. There is a high probability that this will not happen. Yao Yao, this is my father. After Yang Chun came over, he introduced Guo Yao Yao and Yang Tianhe. Father, this is the Yao Yao I told you. I've met my uncle. While Guo Yao Yao's heart trembled, a light shone in her eyes, and she quickly saluted Yang Tianhe. Guo Qiu was also frightened, and quickly bowed and saluted. Guo Qiu, deputy leader of the Chongshan Alliance, has met Elder Yang. The famous existence was one that he could hardly see in the past. Even if he saw it, he would not dare to face it easily. The existence of vision. Guo Lily's face turned red with surprise. Not only her brother-in-law to be was here, but her father was also here. This is a super strong person who has entered the 8th level. She can be saved, she can be saved. For a moment, Guo Lily looked at Duan Niantian again. She was no longer frightened, but looked a little more joking. Her mood was ups and downs like a roller coaster. Now she sent a voice to challenge, Duan Niantian, even if you find me. So what if I have a backer? Is your backer as strong as mine? Do you know who is coming now? My soon-to-be brother-in-law and his father. His father is the great elder of the Xiaoshan Dao sect, the #1 force in our Xiaoshan Divine Island, and a super strong man who has entered the 8th level of Taoism. Hearing what the other party said, Duan Niantian couldn't help but frown. Entering the 8th floor? This is much better than Uncle Zhao and the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom around him. If the two of them join forces, they may not be the opponent of the other. As for his father, although he is a strong man in Hedao, he is not present after all, so he may not be able to suppress the opponent just by his name. Chapter 4702. Brother Chun, our family is in trouble, you must help me. Guo Yao Yao did not dare to say this in front of Yang Tianhe, so she could only say to Yang Chun via voice, since I was a child, my sister has taken great care of and loved me. I can't watch anything happen to her. Please Brother Chun. Faced with Guo Yao Yao's pleading, Yang Chun had no resistance at all. He quickly begged his father to try to help Guo Yao Yao to see if he could save his sister. Although there are very powerful forces behind these two 7th-level Taoists, as long as the forces behind them are within the Xiaoshan Island, they are still within the controllable range, because their Xiaoshan Dao sect is the most powerful force on the Xiaoshan Island. A strong force. He believed that as long as these two people were from Xiaoshan Island, it would be easy for his father to ask for face. Yang Tianhe frowned. He really didn't want to get into this muddy water, but now his son was begging via voice, and it was for a woman. As a father, he really couldn't bear to break his son's heart. After all, this is his most beloved son. Both of you. Yang Tianhe finally stood up, looked at Zhao Ani and the powerful Daoist from the royal family of Jianglan Kingdom beside Zhao Ani, slightly raised his hands and said, I am the great elder of Xiaoshan Dao sect, Yang Tianhe. How about you guys give me some face in this matter and reconcile with each other? As long as she lives, I, Yang Tianhe, owe you both a favor. When Yang Tianhe said this, although his tone was gentle, the consciousness of the 8th level of Taoism still swept out, faintly covering it up. The purpose of the spiritual consciousness that Zhao Ani and the two released was naturally to let Zhao Ani and the two know his strength. Enter the 8th level. Zhao Ani frowned slightly. However, the 7th level Taoist master from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom royal family next to Zhao Ani sneered, Yang Tianhe, the great elder of Xiaofan Taoist sect? Do you know whose son is the young master Duan Niantian next to me? Seeing that the other party was still so strong after knowing his own strength, Yang Tianhe was inexplicably shocked and at the same time subconsciously looked at Duan Niantian. Before Yang Tianhe could ask, the powerful royal family member of Jianglan Divine Kingdom sneered, "This young master Duan Niantian is the son of our Jianglan Divine Kingdom's newly promoted Hadao strongman, Mr. Duan Lingtian. And I am a member of the royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom. I am here on the orders of the powerful Hadao master of Jianglan Divine Kingdom, Lord Jiang Tianzheng, to welcome young master Duan Niantian back to Jianglan Divine Kingdom." When he said the first sentence, Yang Tian's expression actually changed drastically in an instant. Wuxia, who originally thought his daughter was saved, turned pale. Duan Lingtian, the new Hadao powerhouse in Jianglan Divine Kingdom? To be honest, he just heard about this some time ago and knew that there was a new Hadao strongman from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, known as the Reverse Divine Sword, and his full name was Duan Lingtian. No wonder when he heard Duan Niantian's name just now, he felt that it sounded familiar. Duan Niantian was Duan Lingshan's son. It's over. Guo knew that his eldest daughter Guolili was dead. Let alone the great elder of the Xiaoshan Dao sect, even if the Xiaoshan Dao sect devoted all its efforts, they might not be able to save her. Now, he felt panic again. He only hoped that the other party would only kill his daughter and not involve himself and the Guo mansion. Hadao strong man? Guo Yaoyao's pretty face changed, and Yang Chun on the side also looked panicked. She never expected that this matter would involve a strong Hadao man, and he was also the new Hadao from Jianglan Divine Kingdom. He had also heard of the new Hadao from the Jianglan Divine Kingdom, until he was an evil genius who came from the Creation Life Plan world and was extremely talented. It is said that the other party only entered the 8th level of the Tao when he first arrived in their world of gods and earth decades ago. In less than 100 years, he entered the Hadao realm. Many people think that as long as he doesn't die young, he will definitely be able to join the third path and become the top powerhouse in the world of gods and earth before he dies. Of course. At this time, the powerful royal family of Jianglan Divine Kingdom stared at Yang Tianhe and continued, "You, Yang Tianhe, can also choose to take action against us. But, let alone you may not be able to keep both of us at the same time, even if can you really keep us and destroy the corpses? Miaji, can you still kill everyone in Guo Mansion? As long as one person from Guo Mansion survives, what you did will be exposed. After all, the opportunity to tip off a powerful Hadao person and win their favor is something you don't come across all the time." After talking about it, he took another deep look at Yang Tianhe, and the warning in his eyes was clearly visible. In fact, even if he didn't say it, Yang Tianhe knew this very well. Thinking of the news about the new Hadao that came from Jianglan Divine Kingdom some time ago, Yang Tianhe quickly raised his hand and brought his son Yang Chun to him in a blink of an eye. Then he cupped his hands to Duan Niantian with an apologetic expression, "Master Duan, I didn't know that you were the son of Master Duan Lingtian before. I have offended you so much. I hope you can forgive me. I, Yang Tianhe and his son, will not interfere in today's matter again. How you want to deal with this Guo Mansion is up to you. Even if you need me to help, you can just say hello." Yang Tianhe is very self-aware. Although his Xiaoshan Dao sect can also ask the Hadao realm experts to take action, after all, he is not a Hadao realm powerhouse in his own sect, so it is impossible for him to spare no effort for Xiaoshan Dao sect. Moreover, even if there is a strong person in the Hadao realm in the contemporary Xiaoshan Dao sect, it is unlikely that he would offend another strong person in the Hedao realm for his private affairs. Therefore, after learning that Duan Niantian was a strong man in the Hedao realm, he gave in and didn't feel ashamed at all. Naturally, Duan Niantian and the other three were very satisfied with Yang Tian's statement that those who know the current affairs are heroes. As for the Guo family, Guo Yaoyao's pretty face was pale. She thought she could help her sister Guo Lily, but she didn't expect that the person her sister provoked turned out to be the son of a strong man in the Hedao realm. Isn't this seeking death? At this moment, she felt completely powerless inside, knowing that there was no hope of saving her sister. As for Yang Chun's father Yang Tian's changing face, she didn't complain at all, because even if she put herself in the other person's shoes, she would make the same choice. I hope it won't involve me. Thinking of this, Guo Yaoyao quickly looked at Yang Chun again and said through a message, "Brother Chun, not only have I not participated in what my sister did, I don't even know about it. Please ask my uncle to help me so that they will not vent their anger on you." Hearing this, Yang Chun looked at his father, only to find that his father's face was more solemn than ever. This was the first time he had seen his father like this since he was a child. For a moment, Yang Chun was silent. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.